nagula kwibukiza kateka kaibukubu yangu busenindala nagula chilo oke bose tulive na kuyalelo tevyo bayevi amitapendwa ya vintu ifisume vyoto kula kwibukisha kana depotimo wimbo watemenwa katongi abazunga batita katongi nagula kwibukisha kateka kaibukubu nakapona neseko syove pamenso yangu abaume bayae iyaba baume iyaba baume
kateka wabantu iyaba baume twakulira lelo twakulira shikakukonke milimo shove
Sile eti kumemo kulondolola wale lilo wingi
iseko wingi mwakwete isaso wingi mwakwete mwaya mwende wino tata wesu
katushi muchi mokege wali bomba kale lomba mwatu jatuleli laki
Turning to active politics, his weekly jogs along the streets of the capital Lusaka attracted much attention and rubbed the government the wrong way. He was banned from jogging in public, which the police described as an act of political activism. Now, Focus did cover this story a few months ago, but we wanted to return to it. The former president, in a recent interview with the BBC, described his experience. Let's listen.
I cannot move out of my house without being accosted and challenged by the police and driving me back home. They took me out of a plane where I was supposed to have traveled for a conference just recently. The other time they refused to let me go for medication. The other time they refused me to go to church. And in fact, on several occasions, they have sent police to say, you can't go out. So this is a build-up case, which they want to culminate into my arrests. And I'm ready for that. The good thing is I'm ready. I have also realized that they're not resting because of their failures in delivering what they promised the Zambian people.
Fast forward a few days ago, and an independent MP mysteriously disappeared last Saturday. Emmanuel Banda then reappeared on Sunday night claiming he'd been abducted and assaulted. And he's not the only one. Edith Nawakwi, leader of the Opposition Forum for Development and Democracy Party, and the civil rights activist Brepna Changala have also been arrested. They'd accused the government of kidnapping him. Now they've been charged with seditious practices. So what does the government say to all this? It denies any involvement. We tried to speak to Mr. Banda, but you're still in hospital. So we caught up with Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, who's the spokesperson for the Patriotic Front Party and former ambassador to Ethiopia. Ambassador, could we just begin by, very briefly, could you tell us exactly what happened to Emmanuel Banda over the weekend?
So we have a member of parliament from Eastern Province. A passerby found a car abandoned, and it didn't take long. It was identified as that one belonging to a member of parliament, Honorable JJ Banda. And by morning, we became aware of it. I think that was Saturday morning. We became aware of his missing and clearly an apparent abduction. What raised our concern was a report from the police that they had found a suicide note in the car, and the suicide note was written poorly. Immediately, these raised alarm to all of us. We immediately termed it as an abduction or a kidnapping because JJ Banda is very close to the former president, Edgar Chagwa Lungu, Zambia's sixth president. And you're aware currently is that there is a big political tussle between the current president, President Hakainde Hichilema, and the former president, Edgar Lungu. Further, JJ Banda and the former president and all of us around the former president have received threats, some public, some private. Before that, the current president, President Hakainde Hichilema, had been issuing statements saying he will not allow his predecessor to participate in politics or to come back into office, and he's made these numerous public utterances. I think these are the ones that have incited the threats against the former president and for people like JJ Banda.
And so, Ambassador, do we know his whereabouts?
Yes. He was later discovered on Sunday to Monday morning outside Lusaka in a district called Kafue. He was abandoned by his abductors, and the family and the police then went and retrieved him. He's been under treatment. He preferred, and the family preferred, that he be treated under a private hospital, but the police forcibly removed him from the private hospital where the family had taken him and took him to a military hospital called Minor Soko Medical Center. Government has stated that because this is a serious matter of criminal abduction, therefore they needed to get custody of Honorable JJ Banda and then take the matters out there. The family are very concerned. The threats against JJ Banda's life came from people associated with government.
Right, so we've heard from the Home Affairs Minister, Jack Mwimbu, who's denied any involvement in the disappearance of JJ, that's the Honourable Member Banda, and the arrest of other leaders. What's your response to that?
It's extremely premature. No formal proper investigations have been done about this matter. The people that have been issuing threats, who are members of the ruling party, the UPND, have not been arrested. There are clear voice notes, clear videos that probably you have come across of party officials threatening the former president and all of us who are critics of the president. This matter can only be settled by a fair, objective, and independent investigation. The life of JJ Banda is threatened. My life and life of many opposition leaders are threatened. Currently, as I'm speaking, all those that spoke against the abduction have all been locked up.
Ambassador, if I may just come in, because, the government to deny any claims or allegations that really they're threatening or maybe hunting or they're tracking you or they're just after your lives.
The evidence shows otherwise, and the abduction of JJ Banda is in stark contrast to the false assurances that government has been giving. I personally have been, abducted by the police, brutally handled. I lost my tooth and I had bruises everywhere, and I was locked up for 3 days. That night, my family and everyone didn't know where I was. Our fears are genuine. The crackdown by the president against his critics is so strong.
For those of us who are outside of Zambia, would like to understand, where exactly would the government do this?
Well, there is a shrinking democratic space. President Hakainde Hichilema, who came on a democratic dispensation, promising freedoms, promising, rights for citizens, stating that will expand the democratic space, has instead done the opposite. There is a rise in dictatorship. There is a rise in crackdown against media and against political opponents.
Wasn't Edgar Lungu, when he was in office, also accused of the same? What I'm trying to understand, what's really the beef between the government and the opposition, or rather the former president?
First, a state of the country. The country is in serious economic crisis. It's experiencing the highest cost of living in the last 30 years. Food prices have escalated. We currently have a drought situation that has resulted in a famine where 6 million people are threatened literally with famine. So you have a country in dire distress. We recently had health outbreaks like cholera, dysentery, typhoid, anthrax. And government has not handled these matters very well. They've instead gone to the critics who are raising these issues.
Ambassador, because you have got a significant representation in Parliament, I wonder, as the opposition, what have you done to resolve some of these concerns and the pressing issues that are facing you and ordinary Zambians, as you've stated it?
Our parliament, I think, again, you've heard where our parliament members of the opposition face frequent suspensions every time they raise this issue, where you have a speaker with a very stern hand that has not allowed the opposition in parliament to freely speak. We are speaking of the shrinking democratic space, and these have been reported even by Human Rights Watch International.
Ambassador Mwamba, here at Focus on Africa, we've covered substantially, what's been really going on in Zambia, and we've actually even had the occasion of speaking to your colleagues. This has been happening for quite some time now. So what's new?
What's new is we had 2021, we had the general election. The entire country, we had the massive turnout. The people reset a button. They elected President Hakainde Hichilema to start afresh. We are 60 years as a country. We thought, and many Zambians thought, that President Hakainde Hichilema is going to help with that reset buttons. Corruption should be behind us. Torture of political opponents should be behind us. Harassing the media and political opponents should be behind us. Yet
let me just interject.
Full circle in full.
But your record was just equally as bad as you accused the current, ruling party.
Correct. So does it give them license to repeat what Zambians ejected, what Zambians rejected? Does it give license to President Hakainde Hichilema to harass his predecessor, to harass all of us members of the opposition? It doesn't. Zambians elected him to expand freedoms. Zambians elected him to resolve the economic crisis. Zambians elected him to abandon the bad traits of dictatorial and autocratic tendencies that has preoccupied this country.
The supporters of Hakainde Hichilema would be saying then you lack credibility because of what you had been accused of previously. So you would not be the best persons actually to, criticize the ruling party or for its ills, as you allege.
I just cited the Human Rights Watch International that has catalogued these human rights and freedom abuses. The Zambia Conference of Catholic Bishops, one of the largest Christian denominations in Zambia, have sounded alarm that there's a shrinking democratic space, that there's corruption, and that the president is handling his opponents and critics very badly. You have the Law Association of Zambia that has bemoaned this attack on the opposition, the attack on democracy. A wrong remains a wrong, whether committed by Edgar Lungu or committed by Hakainde Hichilema. Corruption is corruption, whether committed by Edgar Lungu or Hakainde Hichilema. Tribalism is tribalism, whether committed by Edgar Lungu or Hakainde Hichilema. The crime doesn't move away. What we should focus is to remove that crime.
All right, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, thank you very much for speaking to us on Focus on Africa.
Thank you.
Could just continue whatever you are doing. You are not adopted, no independent. That one I'm serious. No independent will manage you. No
that sounds
independent.
Strong, huh?
So those who
you
want to
gave
stand,
an ultimatum
yes,
to all your members.
Yes, the issue here is
aspirants.
you cannot, my friend. We want this UPN to outlive us. We want UPN to outlive all of us. So you cannot create another political party. This message is very strong on the ground. People want to stand as an independent. But you can UPN. I know to choose a chairman nomination. Nikamba Pan as your national youth chairman. Constituency youth chairman, wherever you are in the country, no one will go independent. If you're sitting a person to adopt, you want to go independent, you stay in your PND. Campaign for that one is going to be adopted.
How will that happen?
It will happen, you will do it. I can tell you for the first time. Today you ask me, even the opposition will apply the same method. It is time. We need to put things in order. So there will be order. Nakamba kuti siru anaita bwanji anaona nkondo. I'm too much on the ground.
Chairman, what powers are you going to use?
It's not the power. The powers are within the party.
The constitution allows for independent candidates.
Pamene pano, I have no issues here. IP, today you stand up on your own, you start going as an independent. Now using the structure of the party, I have no problem. You come to the structure of the party, you have been introduced. All these things, you go in their structures. Tomorrow not adopted. I'm not going. No, you're disturbing the vote sky. But if today you just go on your own, as an independent, I have no problem with you. You can go. But those who have gone now in all the constituencies across the country, here where we are strong, where we are weak, as long as you have gone in the structure of the UPN, you have spoken to the chairman of the party at a constituency level, ward, everything, my friend, Sumuzaiona. The issue is only one candidate which is needed. I'm not campaigning. We need to be serious as a party. 4 years taking government, 5 years. About the stable. No. It is me, and I've got a list of everyone. Kaswa lembani wonsa. Ikafika yafika time hapa kulibe ya September kulibe.
No one can go.
No, no one going anywhere. You can continue. Even the parties are aware. Can we adopt somebody who is not popular? No. We adopt somebody who is popular. But the one who is
That's
popular...
a dictatorial behavior
no.
you're trying to introduce now.
We are managing.
Are you going to block
in the
those during the
I've said you cannot
filing of
come
nominations?
in the party.
Are you going to block them?
No. Listen. You can't come in the party using the structure of the party. You are using the popularity of the president and the party, and then tomorrow you decide to say I'm going independent. You leave it that way. Because everybody is coming.
I have a lot of room I can add even.
So you divide the vote.
So don't worry.
You have almost 30, 50 members of parliament who are independent. You are creating another political party. Are they going to be loyal to you as UPND? Are they going to be loyal to the president? You know. Me as a national youth chairman have said, this message, it has decampaigned me. People don't talk, but I want just to tell you that Suza Imilila. It ends there. Suza Imilila. The party will choose on one person. No, that one is like a tonse. We campaign for the same person. No nomination. Unless maybe I won't be the national youth chairman. Even if I'll be the trustee, still more who apply that method to each and everybody. Because it helps the party to stay in government for so many years and to ensure that the president we have and the party manifesto.
Good day. Today, Thursday, 11th September 2025. Tomorrow, the head of state will be presenting the national budget. Now, he will be presenting the official statement, the official opening of parliament. This is literally the last official opening of parliament that President Hakainde Hichilema will do. And there's another one that happens in January, February for national principles and values. That is literally an extension of today's address. So this is literally his last address to Parliament before we go to elections in August 2026. And his dear brother, Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwane, will be presenting the national budget, I think on the 26th of September. This is a budget session. Parliament has just opened. It will be officially opened. It's a budget session, essentially. Can the UPND do something dramatically? What they haven't done the last 4 years? Is it possible that they can make a turnaround? Ignore the figures that they've been given, that the economy is growing to a projected 6%. Ignore what they are saying about CDF. None of that is working. Our people remain in dire strait. Our people have suffered pain the last 4 years. They are suffering the worst cost of living crisis, I think, in living memory. We've had the worst load shedding since our country was literally established in 1964, where our country is going on for many hours, sometimes days without power. Yet, you've got a government arrogantly stating that they'll be re-elected. They haven't actually even commissioned a fresh campaign for the re-election of President Hakainde Hichilema. I am privileged today that I'm hosting the former independent MP for Petauke, Emmanuel Jay Banda, popularly known as JJ. JJ is going to be with me here. He says, Ambassador, take your time. I'm not bound by time. Let us discuss the rule of law. let us discuss my abduction, but mostly let us discuss the budget and where our country is going to. So I've got JJ Banda, Honorable MP, former MP. They stole that seat from him. The circumstances which we'll be discussing, they literally stole that seat from him. The scourge of abductions, and JJ Banda is a picture of that. The human rights record of our country has sunk terribly, and JJ Banda will help me discuss. I played the videos of his abduction when the weekend that he had been abducted, and I spoke to BBC just to freshen our minds about that sad state of affairs. That his abduction has cost his seat, it has cost literally his life. It has cost Mfue MP her seat because she commented and demanded JJ's release and condemned the remarks that came from southern and northwestern provinces. Munir Zulu is in prison because he stood with JJ. The cost has been very high. JJ himself is in exile because of that matter. JJ has a song he plays on his page, and he has requested me that I play that song. Now, JJ, let me look for your song. There's a Catholic song that he plays, and he says, Ambassador, just for 2-3 minutes, play my song, and then we discuss. So let me look for his song that we play it. He says he loves it. I wish I had time to put it in a video format. Oh, now people are calling on this number. I'm playing JJ's number. Please don't call on this number. Let me find out. Hello. I'm live. Please don't call on this number. Just let me see if I can play something. Just a minute.
Lelo bwacha bakamba mu kyalo ky'esu kya Zambia ekyaweka Njoy. Abantu baafo bakamba kule mu nfumbwe. More than 20 people balebe pati ni babiri. Bagamba. Fish to Arufyanya. People have died. Mumino yabakapokola. The police killing people. Why? In the same government bagamba. Abductions have happened. Bagamba. If you're not with them, it's either you're dead or you're in prison. This government, you're going to change big man. Fish to Arufyanya pakubika office. Fish to Arufyanya. Why me? Missing. Where is why me? HH, tell us with your government, where is why me? Give us why me. Justice for why me, big man. Watch it, HH. Wala tupwisha bega kutupwisha bagamba. Tetwale kyokulanda big man. Oh, you think? Mind about that. Zambia twasevana. Bagamba. Waneza twapweni. Mutala tesu. It's ya Zambia. Twamona mwempwa. Bagamba. Twamona mwempwa. Ubuteko toaleta Wadulete lama Amazala mush No yukateka Kola ipomba tureka No yukateka Apa nomba bane Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Wakuvota bane Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Wakufuatika Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Wakufuatika fuatika Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Wenyu daya kwa fwe Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Aikona man Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Idaya kwa fwe Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Yakuriati kwenyu kwenyu Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Mayona batata Mayona batata
Which one have you connected?
First
one on the second.
batusendela nomba batwipaila na hope yesu endika chagwa lungu watubela tinani mikwatila plan B nomba tuwadishiba plan B abamumino ya kualesa bantu banga abalafa muchalo chesu cha Zambia nibanga bantu abala abafujakite muchalo chesu cha Zambia bambire kuli JJ Banda nibanga bantu abala bamuprison abena chitotela chilangwa wote baba prison netunguru shina shimbi na shimbi muri one government ya kwa ejeji abantu naba famweleza aikata nomba baikata na kuyetika chakwa lungu atukwatile plante abakubo byavyo mufulo big bad mufulo pa mufulo bilabine batsendela yetika chakwa apa nomba bane mufulo pa mufulo mufulo pa mufulo bakuvota bane mufulo pa mufulo mufulo pa mufulo bakufuatika mufulo pa mufulo mufulo pa mufulo bakufuatika fuatika mufulo pa mufulo mufulo pa mufulo wenyu daya kwa fwe mufulo pa mufulo mufulo pa mufulo aikona man mufulo pa mufulo mufulo pa mufulo idaya kwa fwe mufulo pa mufulo mufulo pa mufulo yakuriati kwenyu mufulo pa mufulo mufulo pa mufulo HH does not mean well for Mother Zambia. Zambia to Asebana, this is not the Mother Zambia that we were left with by our ancestors, our forefathers who fought so hard to liberate us. Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, Nalumino Mundia, Mama Julia Chikamoneka, Simon Mwansaka Pwepwe, they fought so hard to put this country on the map, to put this country where it is today. No man would destroy this country because we believe in unity. One Zambia, one nation, and we shall together we will change, and we are going to change this government. My name is Blaze Zambia.
Just a minute. Yes, I'm sending this
Wimbo wa temenu wa katongi Abazunga batita katongi Nagula kwibukiza kateka Kaibuku muna kapona Neseko siove pamenso Yangu ama umebaya Kiyaba ume Kiyaba ume
Kateka wa bantu Twakulila, lelo twakulila Shikakukoke milimo shove
Ale filamba Fiena minta pengo sile Deti kume moku Londolo la vale Lilo mwingi
Iseko wingi mwakwete Isaso wingi mwakwete Mwaya mwende wingi
ukulabevyo wachito bwingi ibisemo wapagiri obwingi ukuchinja olusako kumoneko busaka mama kuzituwala basiyani chagwa katuse.
Okay, good. Wonderful. Just the glitches, you know. My dear brother is somewhere else, I'm somewhere else, and I was saying he directed me to play a song. Let me just play it briefly for we're just connecting, and sorry you could have been hearing me in the background because I left my microphone before me, but we are now connected. Honorable JJ Banda, let's bring proof of life. Maybe people can greet you properly. And Baba Mungoni, how are you? Honorable JJ Banda, can you hear me? Hello, Baba, can you hear me? Okay, so let me do that. So the man is in the house, as you can see. Yo, Baba Mungoni, can you hear me? Hello, sir, can you hear me? I think he's not hearing me. It's something I just need to sort out briefly. So let's play his song now that he's here and we've connected, as we are sorting out the issue of his volume. Honorable JJ Banda wants me to play his favorite song, and he has what he wants to say about this song. Today we are discussing the state of our country, and we are discussing just where are we going as a country. That's what we are discussing today. And I've got Honorable JJ Banda, Honorable JJ Banda, to help me with the discussion of the state of the country. I'm just trying to resolve his issue. We play his favorite song because that's what he wants us to start with. And we will then delve into the details. He says he's going to give me a lot of time. A lot of time, he's saying, and he's going to give callers a lot of time. He says he's used to staying with callers for many. Let's just play his song. Let's look for your song. Oh my God, where is this song? Okay. Just a brief, sorry. Hello, Honorable JJ, can you hear me now? Honorable JJ, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. How are you?
I'm fine, and you, Ambassador.
You are live on Emmanuel Mwamba Verified, and we're glad to hold you and host you. I'm glad that you're back. We had that issue, and I think the volume is okay. For our viewers, you can share this broadcast and tell us in the comment, is the broadcast okay? Is the volume okay? Because we are going to discuss very important things. Are we okay? Are we reaching you okay? Is the broadcast okay? And that is what we're making sure that everything goes very well. Honorable JJ Banda, Mulibwanji Mbuya, how are you? Mulibwanji Mungoni. Hello, Honorable JJ. Yeah. It's a day that the Lord has made, and it shall go very well. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear now.
Yes, you are live. You are live. Speak to the audience. Nikama tulibwanji mungoni.
Yeah, it's a tribunal. Mishani wa Emmanuel, wa Ambassador Emmanuel. Na wena chalo kwa sentela ni. Agisi ni wose chalo mwanji kiuli
Mungoni, just 30 minutes ago I saw Urina Chunsu. You are keeping a lot of hair. Manje mwaibisa.
Yes, I've got a lot. I'm sure you can able to see. I've got a lot of hair now. Historically, according to our culture, when you're in problem, you are supposed to keep your hair so that you can learn your post, and also you can learn how to teach.
Mukopela ba president akainde ichirime echunsu icho.
You know, we believe different because others they believe. For us, we believe when you are giving your, it means you are you believe how big your things are in your heart, and then you are not to relate out. No matter what, you are not just supposed to keep it your heart to say, "Mpaka wa Emmanuel kwamba nikawapa ufanye kama kusema ndio sisi is amazing believer, but right now, people it believes that bishi ukakula wote pale
Wonderful, wonderful. The head of state. Let's start with tomorrow's issue. The President Hakainde Hichilema, will be official opening of Parliament. This is his last address before we go to elections next year. He's got another address. You are a member of Parliament, you know, the one he addresses on national principles and values, the one that comes in January, February. But essentially, this is his last broadcast. What are your expectations to President Hakainde Hichilema's broadcast that is coming up tomorrow?
Yeah, thanks so much. The last meeting which I attended, it was in 2023, because when we were about to open for the for 2024, I'm sure that's when I found myself in the problem. So if you remember the judgment, it said, when I was asked in Parliament to say how taking the address of the head of state, you remember it comes that after the address, when you debate the address, it's debating the budget, which to me, I know to say this is the last budget and this is the address. This is the last September for the European government, Mr. Hari Shivama. So, today, if you remember 2023, I said this address, it's a contracted one. I said, so you saw it was all over media about what debated. It means there is nothing. It's empty because get you back here, the budget on top of the people. In 2021, in this budget address, Mr. H.M. promised a lot of things. The things which I remember very well, it's the development. He says that we are going to have an airport. We are going to have some you expand it to serve the rule of law, the constitution, 2022 it was the same. 2023 it was the same. 2024 waiting to be the same because we haven't seen anything. Even when we ask you tomorrow, when one of the members has to be coming to Israel and say, can you show us? How I have done for Eastern Province, Chipata, that's the China Road. Why come to say, that I cheat the road? Here, Banga, to a cheater. So, that's China Road. Remember that one, Ambassador Emmanuel, it was funded. And that was on track. When the European government took over from the previous government, but they moved away that those allocation of money from Chipata Dansma Board, it was taken to Western Province to go and do that road called Prison Road. Up to today, when you want to travel from Chipata to Lundas, which is about 200 kilometers, but you are going to about 6 hours. If you're going to jump on stage, nothing has happened. In 2022, the Parliament fixed government when university asked for the Chipata Tadiza Road, Katete Tadiza Road, Katete Tadiza Road, Chipata Vubi Road, nothing, and they hit at the university, and they were promised a message to say, there's a Parliament chief to say, we are going to do that in the budget for 2022. That was in August 2022. In 2020, September, in the budget, all these things were there. But today, Ambassador Emmanuel, it's not too wicked and point. So, pretty sure we want to Eastern Province in budget or equal budget, my lord. But to say, are you cheating more?
Yeah, well, I'm wearing headsets and the quality of your sound is a bit is a bit poor. My headsets. Do you have headsets you can use? Do you have headsets you can use?
No.
Okay. Let me just see. Let me just play your song, and I try to resolve. I'll call you on your phone. What we are saying is very important, and we should get you very, very clearly. And the link we've given you is a very good link. So let's just sort that out briefly. Thank you very much. If you're joining us, I'm hosting Honorable Jay Banda, former independent MP for Petauke. You know what has happened in his life. They've stolen his seat from him. He went through a lot of things that we want him to express to us, but we're discussing the rule of law because it affects him. He's literally a poster, what you'd call a poster boy of the abductions that are happening in our country. You have a Chingola businessman, that people are even forgetting about. Tony Konga Sakashanda was abducted on January 17th from his house by police officers from Kitwe and from service headquarters in Lusaka. Tony Konga Sakashenda has never been seen. It's been now going to 9 months. The family have been to every mortuary, they've been to every police station, they've been to every police prison, and they can't find him. He's not the only one. Waimi was abducted from Zimbabwe using illegal means. They didn't have any warrant of any. This is a cross-border offense. There was no Interpol processes that was used. There have been various cases. Judge Muma, they abducted a judge, made him sign a document that he had committed suicide. Lucky enough, the Lord saved his life, and fishermen found him. You abduct a judge. So JJ represent that sad part of our history in our country, and we want him to speak to us very well, and we want him to. But I'm having just some challenges with his volume. As you can see, his picture quality is very good. We might have to do something unorthodox. I might put his picture here and call him, but we'll sort it out. He has a lot of things to say to the country, and we are glad to host him today. So just be patient, Mwantu as we do this. Nimbona wa UPND waletu chitatu mwexile movie, they can't even organize equipment. Movie mwexile. Thank you very much for mocking us. But we are glad that we are speaking to our country in whichever way we can. So God bless you. Just hold on as I resolve this issue.
Amitapendwa ya vintu ifisume vyoza kula kuibukisha kanade pochimo wimbo watemenwa katongi abazunga batita katongi nakula kuibukisha kateka kaibukubuna kapona neseko shove pamenso yangu maume maya iyaba maume
Kateka wabantu twakulira lelo twakulira shika kukonke milimo shore Eti kume mokula ndolola vale lilo wingi iseko wingi mwakwete iseso wingi mwakwete mwaya mwende wino tata wesu
katusi muchi wakege wali bomba kale lomba mwatu jatuleli lake
No, just
Oja bantu baraya no TV. Yeah, baba ume. Ukuyo mutushene bila papwe. Umenzo pwevo. Ay, bila yo bala ili ya baba ume. Ay, nangu tulalaba. Oja tulibasila kifuemo. Mingi tualaba badinotiwe. Nangu tulalaba.
Thank you very much for joining us. We are hosting Honorable Emmanuel Jay Banda, former independent MP. We are reviewing the state of the country. We are reviewing tomorrow's issue. The president will open official address. His address sets pace for the whole year. It's followed by a budget address by the Minister of Finance. So his vision, his pronouncements will now add figures to them through a ministerial budget that the minister puts up. And we are discussing the rule of law. JJ was subject to a terrible, terrible thing that should never happen in our country. He was abducted. He named the perpetrators. The police instead charged him with armed robbery. Instead of pursuing the named perpetrators, the two officials from State House and the other one from the UPND government, they charged him with and slapped charges on him of armed robbery that occurred in 2015. They were not willing to pursue the case of his abduction. And he has become, like I said, a poster boy. You have Judge Muma, High Court judge. They wanted him not to recuse himself from the matter of Mumbipiri when Mumbipiri was facing the murder charge. And the judge said, why should be? I'm the resident High Court judge in Western Province in Mongo. Why should I recuse myself? They accused him of being PF. The next thing we saw, he was being abducted. And they alleged that he wanted to commit suicide. Well, the truth is out there. And there have been many other people. Rizwan Patel, you know the case of the young man from Petauke, very strong member of parliament, member for the PF. You have the Sajus, Sun Pharmaceutical directors, Udit and Vinod, who were also abducted in similar fashion. A combination of the police and UPND cadres. And the matter is, a trial is supposed to start in the High Court because they sued those police officers and UPND cadres that abducted him. We have my case. Then we have a sad case of Tony Konga Sakashenda, a businessman from Chingola, who was abducted on January 17th. He's never been seen. He was taken by police officers from Kitwe, Central Police and Service Headquarters. The police have never told us where they took this man. The family have been looking. Today marks the death of another young man, Mwaba Simbarasha. He was an airport, the control tower officer, and was present on the day of that biggest gold scam. And a year later, the young man died in mysterious circumstances. The police said he had killed himself, but we know from the facts and comments from the family and what the young man feared himself is a case that should not die, should be investigated. Was it an abduction? Was it suicide? JJ Banda himself, is here with me, and I don't want to waste time. It's just these issues we are resolving of the volume. He was here, but I think the volume was not up to standard, and we thought that we should resolve that. So just be patient with us, and I'll be bringing JJ Banda back.
You artisanal and small-scale miners, you need to know that we love you. This government loves you. This president loves you. Right? And there's no leader who loves his own family members who drive them into suicide every day. Then you are lying, you don't love your people.
Yes, Patrick.
You artisanal and small-scale miners, you need to know that we love you.
So what's happening in Zambia? It all started late last year when former President Edgar Lungu, who had been in power for 6 years, announced that he would be returning to active politics. His weekly jogs along the streets of the capital, Lusaka, attracted much attention and rubbed the government the wrong way. He was banned from jogging in public, which the police described as an act of political activism. Now, Focus did cover this story a few months ago, but we wanted to return to it. The former president, in a recent interview with the BBC, described his experience. Let's listen.
I cannot move out of my house without being accosted and challenged by the police and driving me back home. They took me out of a plane where I was supposed to have traveled for a conference just recently. The other time they refused to let me go for medication. The other time they refused me to go to church. And in fact, on several occasions, they have sent police to say, you can't go out. So this is a build-up, I guess, which they want to culminate into my arrests. And I'm ready for that. The good thing is I'm ready. I have also realized that they're not resting because of their failures in delivering what they promised the Zambian people.
Fast forward a few days ago, and an independent MP mysteriously disappeared last Saturday. Emmanuel Banda then reappeared on Sunday night claiming he'd been abducted and assaulted. And he's not the only one. Edith Nawakwi, leader of the Opposition Forum for Development and Democracy Party, and the civil rights activist Brepna Changala have also been arrested. That accused the government of kidnapping him. Now they've been charged with seditious practices. So what does the government say to all this? It denies any involvement. We tried to speak to Mr. Banda, but you're still in hospital. So we caught up with Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, who's the spokesperson for the Patriotic Front Party and former ambassador to Ethiopia. Ambassador, could we just begin by, very briefly, could you tell us exactly what happened to Emmanuel Banda over the weekend?
So we have a member of parliament from Eastern Province. A passerby found a car abandoned, and it didn't take long. It was identified as that one belonging to a member of parliament, Honorable JJ Banda. And by morning, we became aware of it. I think that was Saturday morning. We became aware of his missing and clearly an apparent abduction. What raised our concern was a report from the police that they had found a suicide note in the car, and the suicide note was written poorly. Immediately, these raised alarm to all of us. We immediately termed it as an abduction or a kidnapping because JJ Banda is very close to the former president, Edgar Chagwa Lungu, Zambia's 6th president. And you're aware currently is that there is a big political tussle between the current president, President Hakainde Hichilema, and the former president, Edgar Lungu. Further, JJ Banda and the former president and all of us around the former president have received threats, some public, some private. Before that, the current president, President Hakainde Hichilema, had been issuing statements saying he will not allow his predecessor to participate in politics or to come back into office, and he's made these numerous public utterances. I think these are the ones that have incited the threats against the former president and for people like JJ Banda.
And so, Ambassador, do we know his whereabouts?
Yes. He was later discovered on Sunday to Monday morning outside Lusaka in a district called Kafue. He was abandoned by his abductors, and the family and the police then went and retrieved him. He's been under treatment. He preferred, and the family preferred, that he be treated under a private hospital, but the police forcibly removed him from the private hospital where the family had taken him and took him to a military hospital called Minor Soko Medical Center. Government government has stated that because this is a serious matter of criminal abduction, therefore they needed to get custody of Honorable JJ Banda and then take the matters out there. The family are very concerned. The threats against JJ Banda's life came from people associated with government.
Right. So we've heard from the Home Affairs Minister, Jack Mwimbu, who's denied any involvement in the disappearance of JJ, that's the Honorable Member Banda, and the arrest of other leaders. What's your response to that?
It's extremely premature. No formal proper investigations have been done about this matter. The people that have been issuing threats, who are members of the ruling party, the UPND, have not been arrested. There are clear voice notes, clear videos that probably you have come across of party officials threatening the former president and all of us who are critics of the president. This matter can only be settled by a fair, objective and independent investigation. The life of JJ Banda is threatened. My life and life of many opposition leaders are threatened. Currently, as I'm speaking, all those that spoke against the abduction have all been locked up.
Ambassador, if I may just come in, because, the government to deny any claims or allegations that really they're threatening or maybe hunting or they're tracking you or they're just after your lives.
The evidence shows otherwise, and the abduction of JJ Banda is in stark contrast to the false assurances that government has been giving. I personally have been, abducted by the police, brutally handled. I lost my tooth and I had bruises everywhere, and I was locked up for 3 days. That night, my family and everyone didn't know where I was. Our fears are genuine. The crackdown by the president against his critics is so strong.
For those of us who are outside of Zambia, would like to understand where exactly would the government do this?
Well, there is a shrinking democratic space. President Hakainde Hichilema, who came on a democratic dispensation, promising freedoms, promising, rights for citizens, stating that will expand the democratic space, has instead done the opposite. There is a rise in dictatorship. There is a rise in crackdown against media and against political opponents.
Wasn't Edgar Lungu, when he was in office, also accused of the same? What I'm trying to understand, what's really the beef between the government and the opposition, or rather the former president?
First, the state of the country. The country is in serious economic crisis. It's experiencing the highest cost of living in the last 30 years. Food prices have escalated. We currently have a drought situation that has resulted in a famine where 6 million people are threatened, literally with famine. So you have a country in dire distress. We recently had health outbreaks like cholera, dysentery, typhoid, anthrax. And government has not handled these matters very well. They've instead gone to the critics who are raising these issues.
Ambassador, because you have got a significant representation in Parliament, I wonder, as the opposition, what have you done to resolve some of these concerns and the pressing issues that are facing you and ordinary Zambians, as you've stated it?
Our Parliament, I think, again, you've heard where our Parliament members of the opposition face frequent suspensions every time they raise this issue, where you have a speaker with a very stern hand that has not allowed the opposition in Parliament to freely speak. We are speaking of the shrinking democratic space, and these have been reported even by Human Rights Watch International.
Ambassador Mwamba, here at Focus on Africa, we've covered substantially, what's been really going on in Zambia, and we've actually even had the occasion of speaking to your colleagues. This has been happening for quite some time now. So what's new?
Okay, so let's try this, Honorable JJ Banda. I hope your volume is much better. Our audience is now large. They are getting impatient. Baba, you were telling us about the budget and what you expect. Just wind up those thoughts about the budget.
Yeah, so you hear me now?
Yes, let's try. I think you are okay. Let's try.
Nothing I can't hear.
You're okay. Let's begin to speak. We'll sort out the issue of volume. No, put it in landscape.
Put it in landscape. You put it in profile. Put it in landscape. It's better in landscape. Put it in landscape. So we're listening to the BBC reporters. Let it just finish as
news. We are 2021. We are the general election. The entire country, we are the massive turnout. The people reset a button. They elected President Hakainde Hichilema to start afresh. We are 60 years as a country. We thought.
So what's happening in Zambia? It all started late last year when former President Edgar Lungu, who had been in power for 6 years, announced that he would be returning to active politics. His weekly jogs along the streets of the capital, Lusaka, attracted much attention and rubbed the government the wrong way. He was banned from jogging in public, which the police described as an act of political activism. Now, Focus did cover this story a few months ago, but we wanted to return to it. The former president, in a recent interview with the BBC, described his experience. Let's listen.
I cannot move out of my house without being accosted and challenged by the police and driving me back home. They took me out of a plane where I was supposed to have traveled for a conference just recently. The other time they refused to let me go for medication. The other time they refused me to go to church. And in fact, on several occasions, they have sent the police to say, you can't go out. So this is a build-up.
So what's happening in Zambia? It all started late last year when former President Edgar Lungu, who had been in power for 6 years, announced that he would be returning to active politics. His weekly jogs along the streets of the capital, Lusaka, attracted much attention and rubbed the government the wrong way. He was banned from jogging in public, which the police described as an act of political activism. Now, Focus did cover this story a few months ago, but we wanted to return to it. The former president, in a recent interview with the BBC, described his experience. Let's listen.
I cannot move out of my house without being accosted and challenged by the police and driving me back home. They took me out of a plane where I was supposed to have traveled for a conference just recently. The other time they refused to let me go for medication. The other time they refused me to go to church. And in fact, on several occasions, they have sent the police to say, you can't go out. So this is a build-up case, which they want to culminate into my arrest.
Let's resolve this. Let me wear my headset so that we resolve this. Honorable JJ Banda, welcome. Just speak, let's hear if you're okay. Speak, Honorable JJ Banda. Honorable JJ Banda, can you hear me? Sorry. Can you hear me?
I can't hear anything about this.
No, I think we can hear you. We can hear you. Begin to speak as we resolve this issue.
And I'm ready for that. The good thing is I'm ready. I have also realized that they're not resting because of their failures in delivering what they promised the Zambian people.
Fast forward a few days ago, and an independent MP mysteriously disappeared last Saturday. Emmanuel Banda then reappeared on Sunday night claiming he'd been abducted and assaulted. And he's not the only one. Edith Nawakwi, leader of the Opposition Forum for Development and Democracy Party, and the civil rights activist Brepna Changala have also been arrested. That accused the government of kidnapping him. Now they've been charged with seditious practices. So what does the government say to all this? It denies any involvement. We tried to speak to Mr. Banda, but you're still in hospital. So we caught up with Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, who's the spokesperson for the Patriotic Front Party and former ambassador to Ethiopia. Ambassador, could we just begin by, very briefly, could you tell us exactly what happened to Emmanuel Banda over the weekend?
So we have a member of parliament from Eastern Province. A passerby found a car abandoned, and it didn't take long. It was identified as that one belonging to a member of parliament, Honorable JJ Banda. And by morning, we became aware of it. I think that was Saturday morning. We became aware of his missing, and clearly...
Okay, Honorable JJ Banda, can you hear me? Let's try again. Can you hear me? Honorable JJ Banda, can you hear me? Speak, let me hear, speak. Okay.
An apparent abduction. What raised our concern was a report from the police that they had found a suicide note in the car, and the suicide note was written poorly. Immediately, these raised alarm to all of us. We immediately termed it as an abduction or a kidnapping because JJ Banda is very close to the former president, Edgar Chagwa Lungu, Zambia's 6th president. And you are aware currently is that there is a big political tussle between the current president, President Hakainde Hichilema, and the former president, Edgar Lungu. Further, JJ Banda and the former president and all of us around the former president have received threats, some public, some private. Before that, the current president, President Hakainde Hichilema, had been issuing statements saying he will not allow his predecessor to participate in politics or to come back into office, and he's made these numerous public utterances. I think these are the ones that have...
Okay, we want to acknowledge. I will try something unorthodox. Honorable Banda, let me speak through the phone. How are you? Speak through the phone because you can hear me through the phone. So I want to see if I will stream you through the phone. No, just speak. Hello, Honorable Banda. Speak in your phone, yeah.
Yes, Ambassador Emmanuel.
I think it can be done.
Ambassador, how are you?
Very well. I think it can be done. We've wasted time already with these techno issues.
Yes.
We'll use my phone and just put your phone as it will become your microphone because people can see your picture. You are reviewing the president's address tomorrow.
Just ask for...
We can hear you. Just speak.
Yes, Ambassador. Yes, Ambassador. Ambassador, I can tell you to say for the address tomorrow. For us in Eastern Province to come back to Nivizirirwa. To come back to Nivizirirwa. Vizirirwa, what is Vizirirwa? Vizirirwa, it's those ends, Ambassador when they are expecting the chicks to come out from those ends, but they end up so we say, even the speech tomorrow, it's I can tell you and I can assure you to say, which will be there tomorrow, it's just no CDF, no this, but in actual sense, Ambassador there is nothing. Let's go back to 2021. The 2021 budget, for us, the people of Eastern Province, we were promised to say, one, there will be Vubu Chipata Road, there will be Chipata Rundazi Road, there will be Katete Chadiza Road, Katete Chanida Road, Chipata Chadiza Road. But all and the university and the airport, these Ambassador, these things, Mr. President, to all these budgets, the address which he has addressed, he always said to say, I'll deliver development equal. But it can there's nothing. There's nothing, Ambassador Banda. Go to Eastern Province. Ask any community member to point just to a channel which they finished. There's nothing. It's just the same as even the hospital which they commissioned in Northwestern Province. So there's nothing to push up to today. So this budget, we are not expecting anything apart from the speeches and also the promises, the empty promises. We call them that's what we can expect of us. We don't expect anything. He talks of rule of law. Always he said that I'll deliver rule of law.
Okay, Baba. Again.
The main member of Banda
Okay.
who was abducted. Where the who has been arrested? No one has been arrested. Me, myself, I was abducted. I was tortured. I was done what? But up to date, nothing. But what they did, they brought other cases which are not even there. Kulie na milandu zira, kulile tu, zechireta koma, bebe tukakosha tuse, pali ya mele na mlandu wa abduction, na mlandu wa torture, mlandu wa flopa ya mtu, mwefikisha pana hanga inde chilema, kulie. Tukabakosha lero, misaka inde chilema tuse, misaka inde chilema. Rule of law, wakoti, in our country, the country is governed by 3 arms of government: judiciary, legislature, and executive. But all of them, for the first time in the history of our country, seeing the speaker who is supposed to be a referee, who is supposed to be neutral, siding with the executive. Where? It's a taboo. For the first time, where a constitutional court delivered judgment, but they come back again. Who come back to say, to give judgment again to the already judgment which the constitutional court judged. For example, for the late president, may so rest in peace, Dr. Edgar Chagwarungu. That case which was in the constitutional court, today where is it? Again it came back to constitutional court. They gave a fresh judgment. Is that the rule of law which he promised? The constitution, our constitution, he has abrogated the constitution for so many times. He was supposed to appoint the youths in parliament to nominate, because Article 259 is very clear. He's supposed to nominate a youth. But has he done that? But tomorrow you'll be in parliament, promising a lot of people, promising a lot of things, which he has failed to uphold. So I can assure to you, Ambassador Emmanuel Jay, to say, people are tired, and the people, they already know the person whom they are removing next year. That's why even now there's a celebration. Tomorrow people will be celebrating to say the person we want to remove is giving the last speech tomorrow for the opening of the parliament. Now we are waiting for him to close parliament. So people will be celebrating.
I like that. You are saying tomorrow we should celebrate that President Hakainde Hichilema is giving his last national address to Parliament.
Yes. Tomorrow it's a celebration to say he's giving the last speech for the Parliament, and we are waiting, and we are the day to liberate the country, to get the second independence for our country is about to come. Because we know to say now, we are remaining with a few months for the people to celebrate the second independence. I know there are some people who are saying no, there's no opposition. Even in Werensiki, even in the colonial, when the colonial master, before we got independence, Ambassador Emmanuel Jay, kick your head. There were those people who were called the vigilante. Vigilante, when Kaunda was saying we are about to get independence, the vigilante were saying to say no, you can't get independence. The Werensiki, the colonial masters, the Werensiki, they are okay. That's what they were saying. So even those, the UPND cadres who are saying that the UPND cadres, Emmanuel, from today, we should start calling them vigilante in the colonial rule before we got to independence. we should call them vigilante, because the vigilante were very loyal to the whites because they were eating together with those whites. And when we said that we are going to get independence, they were saying that no, you can't get independence because they were eating. But they were forgetting to say the ordinary Zambians were suffering. So it's just the same even today, what is happening. Take the people that were dying. And it's evident enough today that someone has committed suicide at the farm of the minister. Now you can see, Ambassador, that the same rule of law which the president promised that is going to uphold. Today we can see that our men and women in uniform, they are now taken backwards. That's why they are even committing suicide. To say because they never went to college to go and train how to take care of animals. They went to college to train how to keep peace and security of the people. But today they are sent in the farms. Go in Namwara, go and see how many officers are there guarding the animals. Kuletera ng'ombe. Go and see them. And then you're expecting to say there is rule of law. And then you're expecting someone to be happy. He's leaving children to go and take care of animals. When at the village, because that boater who has committed suicide, at the village where he comes from in Udazi, the people who are taking care of animals, they are young ones. They are young ones, Ambassador. But today, after graduating, after doing pass out, and then you are asked now to go and take care of animals, you can commit suicide. And that blood, I can assure to you to say it will haunt them.
Honorable JJ Banda.
Sure you can,
Honorable JJ Banda.
Yes.
Are you saying the reported death of the police officer who has died at the residence at the farm of Honorable Musokotwane was sent there to guard Honorable Musokotwane's animals? Is that what you are saying?
Yes. Now at the farm, what can you guard at the farm, Ambassador? What can you guard at the farm? Because at the farm, what you can guard is animals. Go to their farms, all of them. You'll find that the police, the women and men in uniform, they're the ones guarding animals. That's why you have seen that there are a lot of happenings now. There's no security in the country.
What is the state of security? What is the state of security in our country? When you were abducted, people thought it was an isolated incident. Now we have seen various abductions. Now there is a new trend where we are seeing shootings of members of the defense forces. We had the matter of Brigadier General Zulu, who was shot by an alleged girlfriend or whatever the details are. We have 2 ZNS officers that were killed 3 days ago. We have this police officer who's alleged to have committed, who's alleged to have taken his life. Are you seeing a pattern? What are you saying?
Ambassador Nanomamba, on the list, you have forgotten those 2 officers in Jalala who were also shot. Up to today, the police are quiet. It has been 3 weeks now.
Now, just Honorable JJ Banda, just wait. Are you saying there are 2? Just a minute. Are you saying there are 2 police officers or a couple? They both belong to the police.
Shot. And they were only Yes, thank you. And the wife works, I'm sure works one of the, I think, if I'm not mistaken, she's the warrior. The wife, she's the warrior. The husband is a pig.
Okay.
And everyone knows it. And this is and how do we expect our men and women to be to say no? The security, have been sure.
Yeah, that's a serious matter.
Because this is not the first incident.
Yeah, that's a serious matter. If we have
the funds, because those officers who are supposed to guide the citizens, they're in the funds, getting animals. As a result, in the community, there's no one to guard, to safeguard the citizens.
Okay. Your case. I want you to speak briefly about your case. Like I said, it has ramifications. You have your colleagues Munira Zulu and Maureen Mabonga, who were sent to prison because they were defending your case. Are you concerned that they never took your complaint? The persons you accused that were part of the abduction team refused that you were not abducted by them. What? When you hear those views, what do you say?
Thanks a lot, Ambassador Emmanuel Mamba. This is what I'm telling you to say. There is no rule of law. There is only animal farm. Certain animals are more than equal than others. Because in the case, if in that abduction, Emmanuel Mamba, if any person from the opposition was the one involved, would you think it could be quite up to today? Asende pamene pana vichitaonest. Asende penzeve noembekeza kuti no vaembekeze kuti chechembekeze
Okay, wonderful. We are hosting Honorable JJ Banda. You and I must be frustrated that for the first time we're having these glitches over this very super, super streaming software we have. We should not have these kind of glitches, but we are hosting our dear brother, and now we are just using his phone so that he can speak to us and we'll be able to open the phone lines that he can take your calls. Honorable JJ Banda has called that the budget tomorrow is called it a stillbirth. He compared to eggs, that are not that cannot turn out into chicks. That's what he's called the budget. And he's saying, let us celebrate tomorrow that this is President Hakainde Hichilema's last national budget address to the country. And he's saying, let us begin the march to independence, our national independence. So I'll bring him on again, and his line seems to have dropped, but I'll bring him on once again. So, Honorable JJ Banda, you are telling us, you are saying there is no rule of law, there is animal farm.
Yes, so tomorrow we are expecting to address, to apologize to the people, to say, I'm really sorry of the animal farm have been running the country since this is the last address, like the way the president of Malawi has done, to apologize to the people. This is what we are expecting him to address, to ask for an apology. Because look, even just what happened to me, the whole president who has got intelligence at his power, he can fail to know to say the Lusaka case was concluded at High Court. The Chipata case was concluded at judgment. If they really wanted to bring those cases, they were supposed to do the appeal. But look, the whole president breaking the constitution to be the number one, to injure the constitution which he promised the people of the country to say is going to uphold. So it's a shame. That's why whatever we are experiencing, I'm sure it's Satan of the devil at work. Because that's why we are saying that the people in our country, especially these leaders who wants to be the president, they are supposed to know to say they are supposed to put unit of purpose first. What is the purpose of the unit we want? The unit of purpose is to bring the independence, because right now the country, we have gone back to the Werensiki time, to the colonial master time. And how we carry independence, and how we carry independence, whereby Mavigilanta, Kaunda Penzoka Matuse Tufra independence, then Mavigilanta Penzoka Matuse no, Kuria independence we tolerate in Mazumbarikara Puino. Njea Palomba, that's why one of the Ruswaniso, Wamuko to say, Monaita abduction, Mukambachani, Yevokamba no, he ran away. Is that the answer? Did the police find out why that happened? Have they wakajua kutiva nkale kuti waone kuti ivivuchitika bilikiani ABCD, nothing. Kumwense wakatiuje Mailo, let the president address the parliament how that mayor was abducted and killed, and where are those people who are behind that abduction and killing? And the police, we have got relatives in
now, Honorable JJ Banda, that matter you've brought is very serious. I remember that's a matter of the Mwense mayor or council chairperson Humphrey Kapapula was abducted from his house and killed, and he was a sitting council chairperson for Mwense district. They've never followed up. They've never arrested the alleged killers, and the matter just went dead. Sometimes we forget there are so many cases of abductions and killings, even of prominent persons like the Mwense council chairperson, and we've forgotten about that. So thank you for that reminder. So continue with your thoughts.
Yes, from Mwense, Ambassador Noah, what they really wanted, it was the city. Today, if they are serious, and they know, let them show us what happened in Long. Judge Muma is there. Have you ever heard the people who throw Judge Muma in that river? It has been quiet. But at first they were saying that it's suicide. Can you leave the person who has done suicide? What have they followed? Indeed, it was suicide. What is the report telling us? if the president is really, if the president ngatokonda vantu avo vati uchechinji paliva ambassador paliva Jaji Muma wotuja tiani report nivanenze chita abduct Jaji Muma ngati ni suicide vajaji Muma na suicide yao vafikana nopani, because suicide, committing suicide, it's an offense. Failed suicide is an offense. And then Ambassador Emmanuel Jay, if it was suicide, can Jaji Muma call for help, seek for help if he wanted to die? The answer is no. But all those things is the president is quiet. Mr. Ndejirema is quiet with his team. He's quiet together with the Mavigilanta. You call them M23, but say Eastern Province to write out Mavigilanta. Mavigilanta wamu Werensiki. Wenzo kama no, Werensiki kulia hata kamtosepo wazungu hapa. Hawa wazungu walijala bwino, even insulting Kaunda. The same way, Ambassador, the way you are being insulted today when you are doing the program of trying to get the independence. So I can assure to you to say there is no rule of law. Check even just the recent one from Maria Zoromis. Yeah. From Maria Zoromis, where Ambassador Mwamba, where have you seen someone has committed murder and then you are saying that we can't arrest until post-mortem report? Where? Where? If it was Binwell, or if it was Ramunduville, or if it was Membe, if it was Kalava, can they wait to say no, we are waiting for post-mortem? Ambassador.
No, even when the post-mortem, that case was very sad, and we thank all people that were very alert and began to put pressure on government. Rea Monga kept on issuing very conflicting statement in the case of Maria Zalomis. First, he said she was in self-defense. They began to blame the victim that had died, and then they tried very hard. In fact, the initial arrest excluded Maria Zalomis. It was public comments by stakeholders, civil society, you and me, who kept on this matter. And that's when the police finally moved in to have arrested. So you are right about that matter.
Emmanuel Mwamba, we have got another issue. For the first time, the parliament, for the first time, for the parliament to say no, what the court said, what the constitutional court ruled, it can't affect the parliament about the changing of constitution. Have you ever heard about that? Because
clearly the Speaker of the National Assembly is offside, totally offside. First of all, she ruled that she was waiting for the Ministry of Justice to retable Bill 7. It had to take the lawyers for Lars to write to her that literally she was committing contempt. As if this was not enough, with her arrogance, she went to Muchinga province last week to open 2 constituency offices in Shuangandu and in Kanchivia. And she issued a statement that chiefs are calling for Bill 7 and it should be tabled very soon. Clearly, she has total disregard, like you are saying, for the rule of law. So, Kambani Mboya, Kambani.
Yeah, so, Ambassador, I can assure to you to say the country hapa Afrika ndiye parapata kondola bila to say hapa ngati ni motoka yufunika toto ovavo kuchinja mabelinzi, kuchinja malinzi, everything masimu yonse kuchinja. This is where we are today. To say we need the total overhaul. Ngati ni motoka ni shuto sa chusi apa government ba Africa UPND yutosa chusi and na oil yukumwa chala chusi cheka ni oil eka. That's why I'm saying tomorrow people will be celebrating. So those who will be celebrating the presidential address, don't think that they will be celebrating about the speech for tomorrow, but they will be celebrating to say we are near now to get the independence. We are near now to overhaul the country. We are near now to bring rule of law in the country. Because there's no rule of law in the country. We don't have rule of law in the country. Emmanuel Jay, the country where it is today, Ambassador, remember my case. The one who started it was Gilbert in Swaniso.
I remember. I remember after Mwense Council Chairperson and Mukushi by-elections, and Gilbert posted that the next seats will be your seat, Petauke and Lumezi, and it came to pass.
Yes, and me, I never had any offense. Yeah. But then they knew to say they are going to kill me. The way they killed him, they went to Chairperson. And then we can have the press singer today saying that no, Anatava, no, Anatagani. So they were going even to celebrate my blood, to sing my blood. And today, Rushwaniso can even remove his mouth to say, no, Anatava would have so if he was innocent, he would have been there. So Rushwaniso really wanted my blood. That's why you can see to say, Rushwaniso nikabijiranta ko ipakaja is a snake. Because look, is that rule of law, even during ECL allowed any person to stand as independent. Rupia Banda, Sata, Manawasa, Kiruba, even Kaunda allowed the people to stand independent. But then today they are saying that no, we will never allow anyone to stand independent. We will be abducting them. And then even the police are crapping. Because in a normal country where there is rule of law, Gilbert Rushwaniso was supposed to be behind bars today as we are talking. To help in investigation in so many cases of abduction in the country.
Wonderful, wonderful. To our dear viewers, I think it's time to open lines. If you have a question for our dear brother, Honorable Jay Banda. We're discussing the rule of law and the state of our country. Tomorrow, the head of state is officially opening Parliament. This is his last address to us before we go to elections in 2026. Musokotwane, a week from now, will present the national budget for the 2026 budget. Again, that's the last budget that you will present before we go to elections in 2026. What is the state of the country?
Ambassador, before you open calls, yes. I want just to address it. Yes, I'm asking for 2 minutes.
You have the time. You are my guest.
Yeah. So, Ambassador, today, the country, people are crying. There's no electricity. Kulia mundanga guleli ni ndio, we can free to come to say, ni gulile to 1 month. That's why there's so much hardship because you can't manage to keep the money, Ambassador, from 1 to 30. You are waiting for the next salary to keep the money for your village. There's no electricity. There's no shedding. Where is electricity going? They are selling our electricity to the neighboring countries to pay civil servants. The country, they don't have money to pay civil servants. Today our electricity is being sold to pay civil servants. That's why even last month there was a delay of payment of civil servants. But all of them are quiet. They're just saying to say, until 2019, we'll be in power. You'll be in power up to 2019. You are failing to pay civil servants, but you are selling electricity to the neighboring countries. And then you can say no, we are a peaceful country. Everything is okay. Emmanuel Jay Banda tomorrow, people will be celebrating to say they will be remaining within few months so that they can continue staying without load shedding. If you remember very well, ECL before moving out of power, he commissioned additional power supply at Kafue Gorge, about 250 or 350 megawatts. And even him, he went again to top up another 350 to make it 700. Where is that 700 going today? And those generators are underground. We can't say that they can be affected by water. No, because they were installed underground. They are different with those in Kariba. But where is the power going? The people are suffering no power, only 3 hours a day. And then you can say no, we'll be there until 2090. The people are in prison. Anyone who just speak, whoever you know to say that one has got political influence, is in prison today. If he's not in prison, he's in exile. And then you're thinking that you're running a country. Can you run a country with that heart? Even him, when he committed an offense of treason, which if he can be remembered today doing what he did, it can be the end of him. Because if you remember very well, the youths in Mfungwe, in Zambian, people were shot. In Chingora, youth were shot. In Kangoyo, a youth was shot. All of them, none of the officers who have shot those people are behind bars. But check when ECL was in government, anyone if a police officer shoot a youth, who account for it. A person who shot Joseph Kaunda and Samansam, where is that officer today? He's inside, in prison. But him, when an officer shoots someone, because they want blood, they say no, it was defense. That's what gentlemen we say. And indeed, Jack Wimbu should know to say the blood of those youths, they will haunt him. That's why today the youths, they don't want him in his constituents. And I can tell you to say, he's going together with his boss.
Wonderful. Honorable JJ Banda, we're opening the lines. I think I can see you are referring to this video where the youths were demanding for for Honorable Jack Wimbu's resignation. That's a video I'm showing. Let me take a few calls, Honorable JJ Banda. Listen to them, then I'll bring you on to answer. We have our first caller. Caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello, good evening, Ambassador Mwamba.
Good evening.
This is Ambassador. I'll use the title Ambassador because they are also Ambassador. This is Ambassador Mumbipiri.
Oh, wonderful.
Calling you from Chongwe.
Wonderful, my dear sister. How have you been?
God is merciful. We are hanging in there.
We thank
my
God.
son JJ, how are you?
I'm fine, and you, ma'am? How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. JJ, I want to find out something from you. And please be open and tell the nation. I was once incarcerated, as you are aware, for 429 days in Mongo. During that time, I was admitted in Lewanika General Hospital for 3 weeks. When I was in hospital, my husband and my children were not even allowed to come, to touch me. They were there, but I was being looked after by the prison warders for 3 weeks. Even when people claimed that you had escaped from Chipata General Hospital, I refused. I said, there is no way somebody who is incarcerated can run away from the custody of the prison officers. In fact, now in Zambia or anywhere in the world, when the prisons were changed from prison to correction, they even started employing doctors, nurses, let me say medical personnel, to look after those who are in hospital. If you are in prison, you are sick, they look after you. My son, tell the nation what really happened. Because me, I couldn't believe that as sick as you were, you could jump from that high window where those police officers, the IG, the prison, the correction commissioner were looking up. Reminding me of the disciples who were looking up when Jesus Christ was going to heaven. Are you able to tell us what really happened? And as I conclude, Ramwamba, it's true there is no rule of law in Zambia. Truly, from what Liswaniso said, that they are going to be abducting people who stand as independent, that guy was supposed to be in cells by today. No, bakumwesu efiri abalanda atakadwa kalina emirandu kala ibalabala abduction yarekitika mu kyalo. No, at least God has answered our questions from the careless mouth of Gilbert Liswaniso. Thank you very much, my son. I'm waiting for your response. Good night.
Thank you. Honorable Mumbipiri is a former Deputy Secretary General of the Patriotic Front. And remember the matter we're talking of, Judge Muma of the High Court of Mongu. He was abducted because they didn't want him to hear the case of Mumbipiri. Honorable JJ Banda, before I take other calls, a lot of calls that are coming in, maybe would you like to answer Honorable Mumbipiri?
Thanks a lot, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba. Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, I think I'm on record saying that that matter is still, you remember those officers are still in court. That matter is still in court, but what I said, I challenged Jack Wimbo to say, Jack Wimbo, can you tell the nation exactly what happened? Because myself, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, ask the doctors. I went into the theater. From the theater, I underwent the operation. So someone from the theater, someone who is still whom even the doctors, they are the ones who are cleaning my wounds. If he can did what that member was trying to tell the nation. That's why I'm saying that Jack Wimbo, the blood of the Zambian people, is going to haunt him together with his government. And time will come, that case will finish, then we'll tell the nation exactly what happened. But the people, I'm sure, they're supposed to judge themselves to say someone who came from the theater, who the doctors operated, and after remember Mukumba waiting saying, question code, muntu atoka mufeta, amunamba, nomutunga, akalina vironda, oenda lini, menda ni paralyze, anga jumbe, ni chimozi kukamba chimuntu, aliye manja, then mwewa Emmanuel Mwambaloka batuse aninyata mbama mukena kukoti kyo mjubira kyo mchitadi poti kyo mjubira Simon ati mundhari emanje ninyata mbama mwizona ko vichitika mbuya kuvamene.
Thank you very much. Let's take some more calls. Auntie Mumbipiri will understand. You are saying the matter is in court. And two, you came from theater. There's no way you would have escaped. I think that statement is very loaded. I think Honorable Mumbipiri understands. Let me take some more calls. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Oh, these callers muted themselves and they can't see that. Okay. There's another call. Let's just take a few calls and we see. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello, Ambassador Mwamba. This is Danny calling you from Canada.
Danny, make your contributions.
My contribution is we've heard from the JJ, and for me it's a pity that we have a government that can just terrorize people and citizens of a nation for no apparent reason. But all I'm asking us, all Zambians, we should not give up. We should talk and we should speak out, because the more we become silent, the more we'll make them feel like they have won, but they haven't won anything. So we'll continue praying for you, Ambassador, Honorable JJ, and even for you, Ambassador Mwamba, continue doing what you're doing. That's just my contribution for today. Thank you and God bless Zambia.
Thank you very much. You can call. It's your time to call. Honorable JJ Banda is here. We apologize the earlier glitches. We shouldn't have been having any glitches. We've resolved stream issues and stream software. We shouldn't be having these issues, but we had them. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Am I clear, Ambassador Emmanuel?
Yes, you are. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Thank you very much. I will opt to remain anonymous.
You will have the opportunity to do so.
Thank you very much. I want to sympathize with JJ Banda and of course Amaya Mumbipiri. These are not days of dictatorship. Days of dictatorship are long gone. And we are not going to allow dictatorship in this country, Emmanuel. We procured this freedom of expression, freedom of association with blood. People lost their lives in the quest for Zambia to be independent. And we are not going to go back. Having said that, I want to state that these cases, like for Honorable Emmanuel Jay Banda and Honorable Mumbipiri, these cases must be properly documented and presented to the Hague. This government must be able to answer for all the atrocities that they have committed. Days of impunity are long gone. We want these cases to be properly documented and presented to the International Criminal Court to ensure that everyone mentioned must have a day in court. We have people who have been mentioned who are associated with the president and they are still serving now. They are still being protected. Everyone who has all the cases being committed now must be properly documented and presented to the Hague to ensure that this government, the government officials who are involved in all these atrocities can go and answer for their crimes at the International Criminal Court. Thank you very much, Ambassador Emmanuel. I'm signing out.
Thank you very much. Honorable JJ Banda, let me just take a few more calls so that I bring you in to answer some questions. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Caller, you are live on radio or on EMV. Please tell us where you are calling us from. Hello, caller. Please mute your other device and answer.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Emmanuel.
Good evening. Please make your contribution. Tell us your name and give us your contributions.
Dixon calling you in Lusaka.
Yes, Dixon from Lusaka. Make your contributions.
Yeah, I just want you to clarify or asking Honorable JJ Banda.
Yes, what's your question? Hello, caller. Oh, we've lost a caller from Lusaka. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Yes, Zephania is my name. I'm calling from Lusaka. Funso yanga nilifuno funsa JJ. Kuno wandu wakamba kuno wa JJ. Wanata watabe, wanata waeka. Swana mshite abducti. Wafunga kuti atuuze kwa kuti zabine zina chitika na wandu wamini walimo involved. Ni bandani kozi hawa bantu hawa kuno wakamba kuti iya JJ anata wanajumba chape paja pa mwamba. So wambili ndiyo maganizira wabelieve kozi kuchita explain mwaneni mamvelerako kazi nwanga naye sama chita explain bwino ati chita explain bwino chinachitika ni chani kuti wantu waziwe kuti exactly awa wantu wa UPND for sure ni wantu wa moza wani wanachita abduction ngati mkumbuka kuli ma 13 girls osaiwala 13 girls were abducted by the so-called members of UPND, and that was the beginning of my adoption. So, kino charo pamele tilipacharo chao tati aliyense manje tingala mufia, tingala mumpepo. Nizoona hii last mairo wa Friday izangala ndiye ya last speech wa president was pasa pa national values, and we don't expect anything. What we are expecting is a repetition, because when you look at this country, Emmanuel Mwamba, ever since this country, we have seen immorality, we have seen people dying every day. It's quite nothing like a president to say this is a national disaster, or even just to call a national day of prayer to see why Zambia we are experiencing this kind of issues. And this has brought a lot of concerns about us Zambians. Why is the president quiet? Even tomorrow, even the budget to be the same, we don't expect anything. What we expect is just mockery as usual to mock the Zambian people, but 2026 we are very. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello, I'm calling you from the UK, and I'd like to remain anonymous.
Calling from the UK, make your contributions.
Good evening, Honorable JJ Banda.
We can hear you.
It's always a pleasure to hear you speak. For me, you know, like you're a miracle. So really just want to thank God for your life. And I just want to echo my voice today, just to say that we are not ignorant of the many vices. I think over the last, let's just say 4 years, you know, it's this and that. I think it's something that we have never, I have never witnessed in the political space for a very long time. And so I wanted to find out from you, after your abduction, and I know that you've been talking about other people that have been abducted. Has this been reported anywhere? Number one. Number two, we are worried about next year's election. The opposition, everybody seems to want to stand. How are we going to, is there a solution to this problem? Because we're geared to just make sure that UPND is out next year, but we don't have options. What do you have to say about that? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. To all other callers, let me just say this. Honorable JJ Banda has said at various forums, I think, how he was abducted. On his own page, he even revealed that he was tortured and he was sodomized. In fact, that revolved all of us, and we demanded that the people that abducted him must be held accountable. He named some people. Many people are saying, did JJ report this matter? Before I bring him in, since we have the host himself, from the host's mouth, we are going to hear it. But first, let us remember that when they got him from Maina Soko Hospital where he was being treated, they took him for a formal statement over his abduction. There was the lawyer Sakwiba Scotta who was present, who immediately held a press conference after that statement, because JJ Banda told a team of investigators led by Commissioner of Police Timba Mudenda, who's in charge of CID at service headquarters. He was leading that delegation to take notes from JJ Banda. It was at the height of his abduction. JJ Banda was still unwell. But as we heard from Honorable Sakwiba Scotta, JJ Banda gave a statement. He says the people that abducted him, 3 of them, he could identify them. This was Clayson Hamasaka, who's a chief communications specialist at State House. He mentioned Levin Goma, who is special assistant for politics at State House. He mentioned Trevor Mwinde. Now, this was an official statement from Mr. Sakwiba Scotta, a renowned lawyer of many years. He's a state counsel. He was lawyer for Dr. Kaunda and others, and has been bestowed with a state councilship. You cannot doubt that word from Honorable Sakwiba Scotta. He says JJ Banda gave his testimony to a group led by a commissioner of police at the CID, Timba Mdenda. And this was JJ's statement. He says, among the people that abducted me, I can identify these 3. Now we have the host, and the host's mouth is here. So let us hear from himself. Honorable JJ Banda, people still doubt your abduction. Just briefly speak to that before I allow other phone calls.
Thanks a lot, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba. Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, if it's those who are doubting, that's why they say, if you are not there today, in future you will see that your son will be the victim. Even the first time when we had the abduction, and if you remember, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, the MP was mentioned, one of the MP was mentioned in that first abduction of those 13 girls, which those girls, if you remember very well, they were taken by government, and up to now, no any abductees has ever voiced out. So the Zambian people should even ask about those 13 to say, why haven't they voiced out anything? And why were they were not released or taken to their parents, but government were keeping them. And one of the name for the member of parliament was mentioned. Who is Romeo Kangombe was mentioned, MP for Sesheke, in that abduction. But you saw there was no arrest. He just exculpated himself on social media to say, no, I'm not involved, I'm not the one. He was never called by any police officers to investigate him about that abduction. And those youths who were found, if you remember very well, Ambassador Mwamba, those youths, one of them, they said to say, we are asking for the Zambian people to forgive us. We won't repeat again when we come out. Because they knew to say they were coming out, because they were promised to say, you will be released. And when they went to Mwendeshi, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, you saw they were thrown outside so that they can go free to wherever they can go. But lucky enough, when they were asked to say jump, You should go. Some of them, their bones were broken. They couldn't manage to land. That's how they were captured again. So, even in that case, Lomo Kangombe knows very well. That's why you have seen that Lomo Kangombe, there's a fight now between watchdogs and Koswe with Lomo Kangombe. Because they know to say he betrayed them, he didn't fulfill the job which he was asked to do. Lomo Kangombe. So to come to my issue, Ambassador Emmanuel, my sister who called from UK, she has asked to say, did you report? Yes, I reported. But when I went to report, just after finishing reporting, the case changed now from me being a reporter, for me being a suspect of the non-existing cases which were slapped against me. When pasa my sister, when pasa Milan zina zamenesi zina lipo, zamenesi zenzeko ku court, because court yenzeko and I was punished by the court when the assault. But now Mr. Timba with his officers, vanapera vanipasa Mirandu Manje, Mwamene Muja, Mirandu, just after naming those the abductors. The case now changed. I became now the suspect. Not as the suspect of abduction, no. They have never, unless even the people, my sister from UK, the people were even going to believe them if they had locked me to say, no, I faked the abduction, now we are locking you. But they never even said that you have faked the abduction. They gave me long cases for 2014, 10 years ago, which were done and dusted in court. They were not existing anymore. And in those cases, if they wanted to bring them back, they were supposed to appeal to the court. Because if you're not happy with the judgment, you appeal, not arresting someone, no, with fresh cases. No, that's not rule of law. That's like independence. My sister there, let's start talking. We need to get independence back. So the matter was reported, but it was changed. It was ignored, not changed, but it was ignored. They brought another case. They charged me another case. Then up to now, Timba, who was leading that team, Jack Wimbo, and the same Mr. Kainde Ichirema, has never talked about that abduction. Because they know to say it's their people involved. I'm sure even for Mwense, I'm sure they are the same people. That's why up to now, up to today, the nation has never been told the person who abducted the former mayor, the late from Mwense. Up to now, no one knows. Kulie oziba mchakuti enzekita abduct no bayaula Mwense
council chairperson.
Yes, but the Zita is there. That person was caught using the phone. Why can't they get those people behind that incident? But the government is quiet. But kuti venze ni ngombe. Kuti kunapewa ngombe. Naseme munamvera kuti wozo napasiwa because manje kupa ngombe. My sister ku UK huko. Kupa ngombe manje it's non-bearable offense. But kupaya muntu kulipa it's not an offense now. You are being rewarded. Getting blood for someone, you'll be rewarded. Because they need it. And the youth, we don't know. And then the praise singer today wants to come to say, no, we don't have
Baba.
Then the other issue, my sister from UK, Ambassador Mwamba, she was asking to say, stiziba wovotera but wotosapota muziba kudala ni akayinde na UPNG chifuko bachosa but wovotera ni ngani. So my sister, even I can assure to you to say plan B is in motion. The candidate is there, but what I can ask you, soon we endorse that candidate who come here and explain to the people about plan B. Plan B is there. Plan B is not dead. Plan B, the people in our country, just not to say plan B is there. We know it. And you remember me, we first went to Eastern Province on that tour with the Reds, the owner of Plan B. From Eastern Province, Chipata went to church. From Chipata, we touched all the districts. From there, we went to Coca Belt in church with the Reds, the owner, the founder of Plan B. We went to Coca Belt. From Coca Belt, with the founder, we went into Lusaka, where we had to do Lusaka. It came to stand still with the Red, the founder of Plan B. From Lusaka, we went into Central Province. You saw how he was victimized at the Catholic Church there. So Plan B, for us, who were close to the founder of Plan B. We know Plan B is still existing. It's there. But what I can only ask is these opposition leaders, let's come together. Let's come together. Let them come together. That's why you are seeing now to say, Ibo wakuru muvera pamanji. Muvera pamonse ma opposition wakuru. If you are failing to sit down and then come up with one person, the youths, they will do that. You have seen what has happened in Nepal. The youths, they have overthrown the government. So this is what will happen in Zambia. The youths now will take over, will say, no. Us will be Plan B. The youths. And we can't fail. Every day we'll be on social media, campaigning, telling the people, fighting for independence. And we are going to manage. Even you, our sister who are in UK, soon, if these elder ones are not coming together, we'll raise some of the youths who come together and we'll just go with one youth, that's all. Because which means them they don't want. Because this time around, they're supposed to come together and put unit of purpose. And then they should ask themselves, what is the purpose of this unit? The purpose is to get independence because the people have suffered. Look, all the witness on Honorable Kambwiri's case matter, including the chief press singer, Simon Mwewa Maimbuya, said to say Kambwiri wasn't involved and wasn't aware. He refused. The chief press singer, one of the latest vigilante, in Emmanuel Mamba's voice, he calls them one of the M23. He said Kambwiri wasn't there. All the witnesses, they refused about Kambwiri, about this latest case for what is the case, Ambassador Mamba, for Kambwiri?
Unlawful assembly. Some youths marched to his house.
Unlawful assembly, yes. Yeah. For unlawful assembly. All the witnesses in that trial, they said no. Even the same chief press singer, Simon Mwewa, said no. But there was an instruction to say, no, you should just find him a case with answer. And you remember, Emmanuel Mwamba, you posted a confidential letter from State House saying to say those people that are not supposed to be traveling because they will be arrested. How can State House know to say, is the State House the judge today? Where they know to say this one will be convicted or this one won't be convicted.
Thank you. Let me take the last batch of calls.
There's no rule of law. So I can assure to you to say, even what Shishima Kambiri is going through, it's merely politics. You, Ambassador Emmanuel, what you are going through, it's merely politics. You saw how you were beaten, how you were abducted, but the case stands from you being the complainant to be the accused. And then people that are still, the press singers, they're still saying to say, no, Mwamba left the country. But they were going to be happy seeing Mwamba under 6 feet. So these people who want to be president, you elder one, please sit down. We are giving you time now. Last time to say sit down. You give people confidence to say you can unite because of unity of purpose. If you fail to do that, the youth will do that. That's why you have seen now the youths, they are coming, a lot of youths, they are launching their political parties. Why? Because it's you, our elder, our parents who are not sitting down, who haven't seen to say there is a devil. We need independence.
Thank you, Honorable JJ. Let me take some calls. Yeah. Honorable JJ Banda has given advice, literally, to our senior leaders in the opposition that they have a duty to come together, or the youths who do it themselves. He has referenced Nepal. For people that haven't followed the matter in Nepal, there was a ban on social media. So when they banned social media, you know, that's staple food for young people. You interfere with social media, you are getting the heart of young people. And they rose, and the entire nation joined them. And the president, prime minister, and everyone else has fled. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello?
Hello, caller, tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Ambassador, it's Miss Anonymous again. I just wanted to clarify on the reporting. What I meant was, I've listened to Honorable JJ Banda and talking about how he reported it and everything was thrown back at him. But what I meant is, Honorable JJ Banda, the judge and others that have been abducted and survived, has this matter been reported to an international agency or organization like the ICC, something that deals with crimes against humanity? Like, have those steps been taken? Because if we just leave it like this, then it will keep happening.
Thank you. I think you're very clear. Yeah. So she was asking if we've reported these matters to the international community. Let me take just some more calls so that we will begin to wind up. We started late, and I know Honorable JJ Banda can stay 3-4 hours on social media just speaking to his people. So I'm grateful. I'm not taking advantage of you. I'm so grateful. Let's just take some more calls. Some people are calling on the number that I have called Honorable JJ Banda, and we can't cut him. So I am asking you call on the numbers that we have given, so that you can call on such a number. Hello, caller. Where are you calling us from? Oh, they are cut. Okay, Honorable JJ Banda, as we are waiting for the calls, you can continue with your thoughts. Sorry. You are talking about independence. That this election is independence, just not another election.
No, this election which is coming, Honorable Mamba, next year, it's not about any other thing. That's why us who knows politics, we are saying that there is no need. Right now, we just need to suppose these leaders, they're supposed to come together, not to wait for for other people to come and call them to sit them down. No. So even for you, Ambassador Emmanuel, if you know one or two opposition leaders, those who want to be president, talk to them to say, don't wait for someone to sit you down. Can you come together quickly, all of you, and then give us one? Because the people, what they want, they know the person whom they are removing to get independence. The person who is blocking. Because even today, our country is just like before, because a lot of youths, they were making money through content creating. But today they can't create content because they are scared to say it will be a case.
Yeah. Okay. I've got a caller. I've got a caller on the line. Just hold on. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Anonymous, Mr. Mwamba, how are you?
Very well, thank you. I've got Honorable JJ Banda here.
Honorable JJ Banda, mliutiani uko?
Seti lipawe menga kumkwasu, tuende kakatia la independence itakachikuza.
Mawe memukamba, niyabu inongako, JJ Banda. But unomwezi, zashita celebrate independence. Because isebonse Zambia yanganani mavuto emeti pitamu jambira chape mwangana abantu nchito kulibe bakudya nivodula mwende ku hospital kulibe minkwala mundu sanga kulekamwa nishamangiwa antu basoba stizo kumene baenda stizo chameti zambo chitira celebrate that day. Chameti za immediate kaende kuti we are free. Which freedom are we going to celebrate? So tipempa all meaning Zambians. This time, let's shine away with this independence. Let us show the president that your direction is wrong. Sinango chosirizira JJ Banda memawe memwakamba opposition. Time ya sila. Iye ntigwirizane tuone kuti tipeze muntu amene azatisogolera. Ntibweze ufulu wametenze nao, because this time muona akulu watu wa brother watu wa Mwamba balikuti imwe mulikuti benangu aba balikuti benangu amangiwa benangu anasoba benangu banafa kusaziba why benangu banafa kusoko kama kuli secretary bakanso ku province china chitika bwanji bana batumira phone kulibe muntu anakambapo balikuti. This year, there is no independence. There is no way Zambians can go and celebrate when they haven't eaten. There is no job. Masaluni kulibe, barbershop kulibe muntu amene akamba kuti isatakonde only civil servant. Now civil servant alibe mao sanga vule kamwa. This time civil service yachinja mulichabe mtundu mozi ndiye alamululira kulibe mtundu ina ngozala mulira. Manje independence ili kuti. So, my only contribution, Mr. Mwamba and Mr. JJ, this year we are not going to celebrate. Let us leave it to the president and his cadres and his MPs to go and celebrate. As Zambians, let's not go there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, JJ and Mwamba. This is Rob, I'm calling from Manchester.
Yes, Rob.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. You know, JJ just made me, he's a big, good guys cry. And he's made it very clear. And I thank him for making it very clear that we are fighting for independence. Whoever is not ready, they have to understand that this election is not going to be a normal election. And I do appreciate that people like JJ Banda can actually now see it and start taking this message of independence. We need to change everything in our country, our culture, our values, of everything. Thank you so much. I just wanted to thank you because this message needs to be spread to everyone in Zambia and everyone around the world that Zambia wants to be liberated and be free again and fly like an eagle. Thank you so much for the message of independence. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, callers, Honorable JJ Banda's message to the opposition leaders is that get together, or the young people will take over. And he says, get your act together. We can't be begging you the whole year, just to get together. And he says, if you don't do it, we'll do it and get one of us to lead. I like that, JJ. That's how young people speak. That's how youth speak. You're literally giving a deadline to our national leaders. Get your act together. We only have 10 months to go. And if you don't do it, hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Okay. It's better I just remain anonymous.
Anonymous, make your contributions.
Okay. My contribution is about those who want to know who will be leading us in the next year's election. If you neighbor go right now, to the crucial time, because tetitufayo kuchita expose leader who can leading next year. Mumo ama abductions. Abantu ifyo baleipayiwa. Abanenso abata bakwete mutima usuma. One sinabena, that's why most of the people abanefa sana now tulangeni leader libena banefa okumushiba so that weshime cha kuchita nangwe. So it's okay if you feel like you feel what that kwete leader, but you not to share not to kwata leader. Equally, anyway, shibikwa. Now 2 days before elections in Alam to Alamna 13 you abantu wonse bali mwishiba. So tuishikana mutupate kusakamana sana tinota tukwete leader. And two, that more position abantu tawale umfana murifi mfulunganya. Ichiwe machitira ukupesha lunshi, nganefo kupesha lunshi, unya pabidi. Ifila uyu ai matigo nefo kwenina, wamona kwa teo, wamukonka wamona chao teo. Wakonko yu teo, wamona. So, effort to make there, a plan B. So, take a unit of a panishi, Moyale Mfako, plan B eco, lead eco, sana. Thank you very much. If I shall contribute.
Thank you very much. Honorable JJ Banda, this caller is saying, but we may have a leader. Maybe we shouldn't worry about that. What are your concerns when you hear that?
Yeah, but look, Ambassador Mama, yes, we may have a leader, but the people, remember about 40%, there will be new voters, the youths. And then next month, on 11th of October, they are starting giving out voters' card to those new youths who have never voted before. So, they will be getting a voters' card. They should know to say, which one are we voting for? Or if it's not like that, they should know to say, okay, yes, these people are united. But now, you have got oppositions which are attacking a fellow opposition. Then that, if a fellow opposition is attacking a fellow opposition, which means people now, they won't have confidence. You are removing the confidence from the people. That's why we are saying to say, if the opposition, they can have a press briefing to say, no, we are talking, all of them to say, no, we are talking to come up with one candidate. You can see how the people in our country can celebrate. The people can celebrate. Just that press briefing or just that statement, and then each opposition, each leader who wants to be the president is signing there to say, no, we are talking. We are united. The people just know to say, we are united, but we are not going to give you a leader now because of the injustice which is in the country. Then the people will understand. But if tomorrow they wake up, they check in the news, they find to say the fellow opposition is attacking a fellow opposition. What What are you telling the people?
Thank you, Honorable JJ Banda. Thank you. Let me take these callers. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Natotera bamwamba nebo G40 kunda munongwe ndeni tumino kufuma ku Zambia mkwaye.
Mkwaye bane nabalandepo.
Mkwaye. Ichikankara twatumwa sana kwebati ba pointi ndire ba JJ. Iri nikankara sana more especially yakwebati. Ama leaders besunga tabarefayo kwikala pamo. It is through ama youths we will do that. And ngana balolesha sana. That's why even ngamalolesha pali binwe mpundu. That movement yakwa binwe mpundu ichaba ichite yakwa angara. When the movement starts, you cannot stop the movement. Then the other thing Bamwamba, me I'm also coming from the platform of PF and Tonse Alliance online mobilizing team. Twalikwatama groups ayenge tupangire because not monokwevati barechita bena barechita campaign then kwa other side barefyengeresha opposition. So ama groups tukwete muri abantu abenge sana bakwevati at some point na narenda na chinano uyo chimbo wananwa grassroots kwevati abantu bafurisha barefo akona attention. So sometimes akwevati batutuminako ama leaders mu groups so that because mu groups momo bangapera na command bwino yakobati ngabalanda for example ngefi tulera ndati independence finishe fo twala mukushita celebrate ngabaisa mu various group baisa pera fat once we don't have to go there to start ni protest information yala ya bwino sana. I think for now if you ngashitako contribute na totera bamwa.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable JJ Banda, you are on the line.
Yes. Yeah. So I can assure to you to say, Ambassador, we have got these people who are saying that no, there is no opposition. We have got a lot of leaders. We have got a lot of leaders, capable leaders. Capable. Vandu leaders wote tikaona so vamanyang'anyisha. Olomkaiona parliament imanyang'anya. Na leaders wametili nao bati ngona mu opposition. Bati wangara vanyang'anyisa parliament. From 2021 up to today. And then you fail to say we can fail to come up with leaders there. Even outside parliament we can fail. Even wherever we can fail. So what we are asking, it's our leaders. They should come. Otherwise, if they are taking time, us will just endorse.
Thank you very much. Let me take this call. Honorable JJ Banda says if the leaders are taking long, we'll just endorse who we think should be a candidate. Hello, callers. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador Mamba. My name is Mrs. Anonymous from the land of AI.
Yes, Mrs. Anonymous.
Yeah. For me, I want to address the issues of the speech for tomorrow. My expectation from what the president said is going to present a speech. I was trying to figure out this speech. Is it on the application of national values and principles, or it's on something else? And
this is the official opening. So there are two speeches. There is the official opening of Parliament, the one that precedes the national budget. Then there is the application of national values that takes place in February, March.
Oh, okay. So for me, really, I was going to state that in his speech tomorrow, what am I expecting? I'm expecting the president to really not give the Zambians a rhetoric speech. We don't want to hear the same things that repeats every year. It becomes rhetoric. So we don't need a rhetoric speech. We want the president to deal with issues that are affecting the Zambians, and these are the issues to deal with corruption. I think we've been highly informed by the FIC report in terms of the figures that have been reported of the monies that are going out of the country, and that borders on corruption. I want the president to tell the Zambians how he's going to deal with the issue of, the issue of rule of law. When we look at the rule of law and what has been happening in the country, for instance, the abductions that have been highlighted, the abductions of the 13 girls, the abduction of that Judge Muma, is it Muma? We've not forgotten that one. The abduction of JJ Banda, who is there on your platform. The abduction of other people, this gentleman from Chingola, who has gone missing from February to now. We don't even know where this person is. Those are the issues that I need to hear from the president, because there's breakdown in the rule of law. Because if we had a nation where there's no breakdown in the rule of law, we will not be expecting such kind of abduction. And then I'm also going to address the issue of Liswaniso, what Liswaniso said on the national television, where he talked about those MPs who want to stand as independent MPs, if they are not adopted, that they will disappear. So for me, I concluded that with that kind of discussion, Liswaniso is an abductor, because they will disappear. Meaning what? They are going to abduct those individuals, meaning all these abductions that we've had, they are aware, they are very much aware, and therefore that's why we're saying there's a breakdown in the rule of law. And where is the democracy if you want to deny individual people who want to stand as MPs, as independent MPs? We saw during the PF where they were not adopted. An example is the same Honorable JJ Banda. He went and stood as an independent. We saw Munia Zulu stand as an independent. We saw Binwe Mpundu. They were not abducted. They did not disappear. They were given that chance. That is democracy. So why would you want to ask people that you're going to disappear? For me, it's something else. The other thing, Ambassador Mwamba, that I want also to look forward to is, I would not want to hear the president, because he deferred Bill 7. I've seen the press singer saying he should not be scared to bring Bill 7 back in the House. I'm looking forward to where the president doesn't mention none of that Bill 7 in his speech, because it is before the courts of law, and anything contempt of law, and I'm sure on that one I will support the impeachment that Celestina Mkandide has started, if at all they are going to bring Bill 7 in the House, because I think let's show that we are not going to allow them, because that is the thing, Honorable Ambassador Mwamba, they are fighting for, because that's the only thing that, for me, after analyzing the whole political issues in the country, that is what I only have as a Zambian to use to stop them to do any mingalatos, to do any evil things. It's my constitution. That is my right. So if they change that, because that's the mingalato they are going to use, because it talks about the issues of delimitation, and we know why they are doing delimitation. They want to increase their numbers of 55 nominated MPs. They want to really play so much on that. So that's why we are saying this president, if he has a statement in his speech right now, I know the press singers are listening, let him delete it. Otherwise, like everyone is saying, the youth will stand up and fight that. We are not going to allow that. That is my submission. Thank you so much,
very
Ambassador.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good afternoon, Ambassador. Good evening, Honorable JJ Banda. Ambassador, for me, one major issue, though I know will not be tackled by our president for reasons we don't know. But one major issue I would love to see come out tomorrow is one concerning the health system in the nation. We have recently seen how the U.S. has announced to say they have actually pulled out the aid in terms of the aid that was coming to Zambia. But even before they pulled out, we've already seen that we've had problems. And we say a healthy nation is a wealthy nation. But looking at what has happened in the past, we already have a minister who was at the center of certain things going bad in the ministry. There's a scandal and people have not paid attention to that. We expected the president to address that. So now where we are right now, we don't even know how they are going to handle that. So that's one of the major issues I would love to hear in tomorrow's statement from the president, because we need that. How are we as a country going to look after our people in the health system, considering that we do not have enough funding on our own and the major funders are pulling out? So that's one of the major things. Thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Thank you, Amambane in Kunda G40.
Yes, Kunda.
I wanted to stereotype the platform, because ama questions are very difficult to ask abantu besima meetings. More especially concerning on the ratio of president were given Luvinda. People were asking, comparing your guys to what happened when he wanted to stand as a president. So it has been difficult for me to explain to people in terms of given Luvinda. Is he eligible to stand when he found kunani kunga twakwata convention? So abantu ma questions very pusha yengi sana. Why na iletira pa platform yenu? So that abantu abasambira kwefyo ifunde lyalanda. According name fyalirwe yabwe lyabaka.
No, he's just no is eligible. Honorable Given Lubinda is eligible. Honorable Given Lubinda is eligible. We'll get him to come and say how eligible he is, but he's very eligible.
Thank you very much.
Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
This is Pumulos Tumbeko. I'm calling from California.
Queen Pumi, welcome to today's program. I've got Honorable JJ Banda here. Please ask him your questions.
How are you, Honorable JJ Banda? Great to see you.
I'm fine, and you, thanks.
Yes, so I have a number of concerns. The first issue I want to address is the issue of the presidential candidate. I was just listening to Honorable JJ Banda, but I think that as what we should focus on is just ensuring all the Zambians register to vote, get their voters' cards, and explain to the voters the critical situation that we are facing as a country in the breach of our democracy, so they can understand why we don't have a presidential candidate yet, and just prepare the voters to be ready to have ears on the ground where we point them to go and vote to move. This has happened in other countries where a political candidate came out of prison, and 2 weeks he was on the ballot and he became a president.
So I think Independence 2.0 is about Zambians, the people versus UPND, and all the opposition that don't want to unite, we shall know that they are working with the government. Coming to the opening of the speech of the parliament tomorrow, the speech, myself, I don't want to hear rhetoric from the president because this is his last address before the election. Now, for 4 years, we've been listening to rhetoric and promises. This time around, the president should come with his 10-point plan and explain to the nation why he has failed to deliver. For example, the Ndola Lusaka dual carriageway was funded using pensioners' money, and currently money is being collected from the toll gates, but it is only 30% complete. We have people who have been arrested because of this scandal, and the road is incomplete. So we need explanations. The president tomorrow, she should come with explanations. He should be on defense why his government has failed to deliver and is seeking a mandate until 2019. We come to the Sino Mine scandal. The government has downplayed it. We saw this man, Simue, actually insult the U.S. ambassador, and we are waiting to get a statement from the government disassociating itself from Simue's comments. And also we hear that the residents are being underpaid and forced to sign a disclaimer, but in the fine print, there is a clause that they shall not sue this mine further. So they are basically signing off their rights to any legal battle with this Sino Mine scandal. And I hope the citizens can be educated to say this water is not safe. People living along this river should take extra precaution in filtering their water, as the water will not be safe to drink until the next full rainy season is over. On the Bill 7, the president, we don't want to hear him talk about Bill 7. Otherwise, if the president brings the Bill 7, this is a reason for the whole country to stand up and start impeachment procedures, including the UPND members of parliament, because they are right to stand, their democratic right to stand as an independent member of parliament will be taken away once this Bill 7 is signed. Talking about the abductions, I think this is a very serious human rights violation, and I think PF as a major opposition should start reporting these leaders individually so that they start appearing in the Hague. We can't have our president going to UN functions and attending these United Nations functions when he's violating human rights in Zambia. But as long as we don't start submitting these cases in the international courts, our government will continue to attend UN function and pretend everything is okay when they are busy violating Zambians. People are dying, a lot of things are going wrong. I submit. Thank you.
Thank you, Queen Pumi. Let me take the last call, and we ask Honorable JJ Banda to hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Thank you. This is Moa from Livingston.
Oh, Moa from Livingston. Thank you, Moa. Make your contribution.
Yeah, first of all, my greetings to Honorable JJ Banda. It is sad for today because both of you, Mr. Mwamba, about JJ Banda, you are in exile. You are in exile not because you are criminals, but because the people who are working for this country diligently are sometimes exposed to such instead of criminals going through that. But honorable people like you, both the MP, Mr. JJ and Mr. Mwamba, for the love of your country, it has become a crime for you to be in Zambia. So I'll just encourage you that Jala Pita, nobody Nemara Weda Zambia. Now, I want to talk about tomorrow. I want to talk about the address to Parliament tomorrow by the President. Now, I've gone back to his first speech when he was just ushered in as a president in 2021. There's just a phrase which I picked where he said that we are determined to use in an era where politics are used to strengthen rather than weaken our unity. This was President Chirema in his address, in his inauguration speech, where he made this statement to say, we are determined to usher in an era where politics are used to strengthen rather than weaken our unity. Now, 4 days down the line, I don't think this statement, I don't think the president had remained true to this statement. And he also said, creating a united, prosperous and equitable Zambia, restoring economic growth and safeguarding livelihoods. Also in this statement, this is exactly what the president said 4 years ago, but I don't know, from what I've seen, none of these have been achieved. So in his address tomorrow, just like everyone is commenting, we want to get facts from the head of state and make the nation understand where we are economically and any other areas of interest. Now, the other thing that I want to emphasize on, Ambassador, is the unity. I mean the selection of a leader, which everyone is worried about. The electoral process leading to 2026 have started. They have even sticked some names, especially Livingston councils, of the candidates who have been shortlisted to carry out as electoral agents. Now, because we have not yet sorted out issues to do with leadership, it's very difficult now for people to organize themselves and check at these activities that are going on. Agents now totally, and the procedures that were used, the criteria, how the people were applying, nobody knows. But again, these are the people that are coming to manage our elections. But when you get to these guys for UPND, they are the ones who are even advertising those names on their Facebook pages. Our opposition, we don't know what is happening. So this problem in Demonapati finger to Avika Wino, Wangu, Ubika leader or leading our opposition. So that I am a process on the three conquer wino. Otherwise, in that conquer my election, voter processes, we are doomed. We will not see any victory. So, in the Zambians, wherever we might be, I am a process to undertake by ICZ. Let's take interest, Papa. Let's take interest. Let's understand the criteria variable of Yokusaravantu. Abantu badesara barefu makwisa. But by the end of it, was some for that. Ama election agency bonse barafu mafe kunanikane kuri baroring party ngara turi careful. And then the other thing is that abena Zambia apatufikire more position
Mamwewa sondweleleni
okwaso emkwai sondweleleni position turawera barantu bina wakandara manchite fyaso ngara okwata fya instana maka tentu mone freshtika kuma kuri ba electoral commission of Zambia muma council tentu mone fyo baresara abantu abakara votesha ama elections next year. Then ama vote yesu papada ngawa vote atakuri kuyafe kunganda ngawa vote rebe kuri rorera bari penda bwino. And then also on monitoring, Ambassador, ndero mbako feko bati ama monitoring bama elections kube kwa ma organization ngwaingi icha kwa bati abantu bonse pakupenda bakabepo bantu parapene epa burundu pakupenda na tote.
Thank you very much. Honorable JJ Banda, that was your last caller. Please begin to answer to any of the callers their concerns, then we can begin to make our closing remarks.
Yeah, so Ambassador Mwamba, here I think I can see the caller. Everyone is worried about the unity in the opposition. But what I can assure to you is that these people, yes, for some of us, we know to say they are united. But the ordinary Zambians, they are not convinced that our leaders are united. And they don't know to say the leaders are talking. So now it's their duty to come together. They shouldn't wait for someone or for Emmanuel Jay, for me to call them to say, can you sit down? And then can you come up with one person? No. It's themselves now. Let them try. Let them now start organizing each other. Because look where we are going. They have already put, they have already recruited voter education. Voter educations. Monsema district. In all the districts across the country. But those when educating, they will be just saying to say, no, here who to vote, it's this one. On the opposition, there's no one. That's why we need our leaders, even just a peace briefing to show to say they are united, they are together. Let them give the ordinary people in the country that these people are united and are talking. Because the ruling party, they are busy saying to say, no, there is division in the opposition. So don't just look at the opposition. But we have got capable leaders. We have got a lot of leaders. We have got a lot of leaders. And why we have got a lot of leaders? Because they have seen to say, what kind of a leader do we have? And are the people happy with the current leadership? Where someone is selling electricity to pay civil servants. You are exporting electricity to pay civil servants instead of giving your people electricity so that the people, they can utilize that electricity in different businesses so that they can have food on the table. But you are selling, and then your people now, they're hungry, they don't have food, they don't have anything. Then two, Honorable Ambassador Mwamba, tomorrow we are opening. Yes, tomorrow they are opening Parliament. We need the leaders there at Parliament. Tomorrow it's a test to them. They shouldn't be intimidated by Murusa by saying to say no, we'll punish, or even Chavinga to say no, you do what? Tomorrow, because by opening Parliament, all the foreign ambassadors, they will be in the house tomorrow. They have been invited. So tomorrow we need the braveness from the opposition. If they are not going to give back the leader of opposition back according to the constitution, the way it is, according to the standing order, they are supposed to walk out. If they'll be punished, let them be punished by doing the right thing tomorrow. Then the people, they will say to say, yes, they'll be punished by doing something good. So tomorrow, if the leader opposition won't take the seat tomorrow there, let them, all of them, walk out. If it's punishment, let them receive that punishment. In fact, that punishment, it's only 7 days. So they shouldn't be scared just because of maybe allowance and the salary to be deducted for that 7 days. No. Let them show the people to say, yes, they don't allow impunity. They don't allow someone to lead the rule of law. They don't allow someone to lead our constitution. Kupanya constitution amwamba ni chintu chikulu ngapo takuti chufunika lini andi ngati chufunika lini mairo ma leaders vaso tuwapempha, let them be firm. Tento wapempherere kuti mairo vankhale na mtima wankhalamu vakaivaleko wasakangane pa sitting allowance, wasakangane pa sitting allowance, wasakangane pa salary for 7 days. Let them forget about it, but let them do a right thing so that the world should see the injustice from the house tomorrow.
Yeah, Baba, may you...
Enough is enough.
Yes, indeed, enough is enough. May you give us your closing remarks.
My closing remarks, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, is that I'm still appealing to the opposition leaders and all those who are aspiring to be president to think, to put in their mind that they need unity of purpose, and they should ask themselves to say, what is this unit of purpose? What is this purpose? The purpose is to liberate the people in the country, to bring back the independence which we have lost, because in 2021 we lost the independence, where now it's only one side. So they should know to say, this unit of purpose, what is the purpose? And please, even you, Ambassador, every time when you're starting the program, please let's preach of the unit of purpose to everyone who is aspiring to be president. And they should know to say, next month they are starting giving out voters card to new voters. We need to start them also. They are not supposed, even if they can be 20, but let them also start telling the people what they can do. They should sell themselves also what they can do. To say, oh, me, I can do this and this. Me, I can do this and this. But they shouldn't forget unity of purpose. Let them promise people to start telling people, look, the way people are suffering, there's no electricity, there is no shopping, Ambassador Emmanuel. People, they are saying they are being forced to sell their maize. People, they are suffering in a lot of things. There is injustice. They should promise the people to say, once we are elected, if me, I am the president, I will make sure that I will bring back the freedom of speech. We are going to remove cyber, whereby content creators should start, people should start feeling to say, no, now we have seen that leader. Let people identify leaders. But right now it's difficult to identify leaders because no one is promising what they can do. If they are scared, Honorable Ambassador Mwamba, let them tell you to say, oh, just write to you to say, oh, this is a script for you, can you read for me? They can also ask me, I can be reading for them if they are scared. To say, no, this one is coming from such a person. He's saying me, when I'm voted civil servant, there will be 100% increment like what Wasata did. You saw Wasata, Ambassador Emmanuel. He promised about 100% increment to civil servant, and it happened. And you saw how civil servant celebrated. Every civil servant that time, managed even to buy a car after that 100% increment. They were jubilating. This is what we need now, our aspiring president, to start promising the people. Look, there's this CDF, which is now sending people to prison, to court. A lot of people in the Eastern Province, Copper Belt, Central Province, Northern, apart from certain provinces, they haven't been taken to court for failure to pay CDF loans. But only certain, there is injustice, only certain provinces, they have been taken to court. Right now, Ambassador Mamba, if you don't know, and the people, a lot of people have been taken to court for failing to pay CDF loans. But there are certain provinces, no one has been taken to court despite not paying any single way, without paying back any single way. And then what are the presidential aspirants saying about those things? They are the ones who are supposed to talk on behalf of those people, to say no. I'm sure here, when we form government, everyone, since we are going to get independence, no one will be around to pay back, because you can't ask certain provinces to pay back, whilst other provinces, it's just fine, they are not paying back. That is injustice. So we need a leader who will come and abolish, to say no one, after getting independence, no one will pay back the CDF loans. Let the spilled milk, lekani mukaka, wataika pansi, utaike sote kulie uyola, because that's why we are saying independence. Let the person who is going to come to say, immediate when he's voted, load shedding, there won't be load shedding, because we are being load shedded, not because we don't have capacity to generate that power to use in the country. We have, but we are selling power. They are selling power, and the power, that's where they are making money, a lot of money. That's where there is the mother of corruption of selling that power. A lot of leaders in government today are making money on selling power because they are sharing. Look about the ambassador. Sorry, I'm talking too much, but time, sorry, forgive me, ambassador. Look about, let's talk about ambulances. No one is talking about ambulances, but the money has been stolen. Today, ambassador, it's September 4, or it's September 11th.
Yeah.
11th today. You remember there's a PS who said that if you want to receive the ambulances by May, I will resign. Did they resign?
Nicholas Piri, no, he hasn't resigned.
Yes, but the president here is given 2 quarters to come and defend them. Some of them have stolen 150 ambassador, 156 constituencies times 2.2 million. It's how much? Let's just say to say times we remove the 2.2, we remove the 200 on top. We just say 156. That's 312 million.
It might be 3 billion. Yeah, 3.1 billion. 3.1 million.
Oh, yes,
3.1 billion, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, 3.1 billion. All that money, they have plundered it, and no one is talking. And you are going to see even tomorrow the president won't talk about those ambulances, but the people are dying because they are taken to hospital at a late hour. But every day they are saying that no, the previous government stole money. Why is he not talking about this current corruption about the ambulances? Why is he not talking about the money, the corruption at Zesco, where they are selling electricity and sending money into offshore accounts? You saw Ambassador Mwamba. Is it this year or last year where $80 million was transferred wrongly into China? Have they come back? The M23, have they come back and explain where that $80 million is? The answer is no, Ambassador. So they're supposed to come back. But I can tell you to say, Ambassador, that $80 million, part of the money, it has gone to purchase their campaign materials. And some money went into offshore accounts. But after independence, who gets those money? Because they're in the offshore account. They will be asked to just to pay back, to reverse that money back to ZESCO. That $80 million, it was just like a change, which was just shown. If you go to ZESCO tomorrow, Ambassador, go and check the account for ZESCO, for that money which is coming from Botswana, that money which is coming from Namibia, that money which is coming from Congo. Just check that money where it's going. When they pay, sometimes now it's going direct into offshore account. Immediately when it hits the account in our country, then it's being transferred to offshore account. Who is the owner of those offshore accounts? Then can government, Ambassador Mwamba, you have said in so many governments. Have you ever seen a government to have an offshore account? No, I'm asking, Ambassador. Maybe we are wrong as maybe government, each and every government usually have offshore account.
No, not
apart
necessarily.
from Control 99.
Yeah, everything should go into Control 99 and make payments and debt service from there.
So now you can see that 80 million. But their bills are talking about that 11 million about Marange, which they have even failed to give evidence. But their bills are talking about the 11 million. In 80 million which went wrongly in China, have they talked about? And how many 11 million in that 80 million? And that 80 million, it was just change. So we need to talk about all these things. The people, they should be aware. Because that 80 million, if it was there, we can, if it was there, we would have given Botswana back their money. In that 80 million, we can give Namibia back their money and terminate the contract. And start giving our people who are crying about electricity every day. Why can't we terminate the contract? Because any contract, Ambassador Mwamba, you can terminate the contract. It's got conditions of terminating. You can say the president to say, in fact, tomorrow, I'm sure he's listening here. Let him promise the Zambian people to say he's going to terminate the contract of exporting electricity so that the Zambian people, they can start receiving electricity. The December, which they are saying to say, December is too far. If you have got an emergency, you terminate the contract. So, all in all, I'll repeat again tomorrow. Let our leaders in parliament be brave enough. If there will be an injustice, let them walk out. So that the world should see why they have walking out. It's because there is injustice. Let the leader of opposition go to the light of honor. Thank you, Ambassador Man.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Honorable JJ Banda. I think I'll bring you next week. We had this glitch where we couldn't connect properly. I think let's do it next week. I don't know what happened today, but I'm glad that you came through the phone and we have broadcast despite these challenges. Let me bring you next week again to review after the president has delivered his speech. Let's now come and review what you will have contributed. So Honorable JJ Banda, you'll be on standby. I'll call you next week so that we have a proper broadcast. But I'm glad that we overcame the challenges and you came. God bless you, and we'll speak to you later.
No, thank you so much.
Thank you, my dear brother.
mukanikumbuka munatukumbuka even lero ndera ndapano UPND not even a single girl na sendamu but I'm still supporting UPND mwa Jackie Mwimbu kulipe mtu alimuna chandizapo kulipe mtu alimuna chandizapo even kuenda kukochi mwanzo chitama promise mwewe ni mwanzo tatani mstadi masafumisha mufitari mpisa mfuna hecha chakasubora kujeri mwa mdara even today HH you don't like HH ifo tuziva HH ndio anatukonka HH na chipani UPND ivo nangu lerume mwimi nekula the independent simunga wine the only popular is HH and UPND and ivo bataki mwimpi mfrika mwende kuma Zambian mwende mkwade sorry about mawezi ya mene na uzinga kwankara maningi
mazina yanga munizi wa Nejeno Chiwenga nenzo konka mau ya mene wana kamba wa Jackie Mwimbu wa Minister of Home Affairs kumonzo kuti sembe siveve sembe UPND sina win bafunza tinanga wamene wafuno imirira lero bebe benze kuti wa Mwimbu you are not popular in Monze, you are not popular and munawina my elections for chukua UPND na haka inde so munawina my elections because you are popular. If you are popular, go independent tuone mumonze then we shall meet on the ground. Number 2, JJ Banda anafa kukaoma mwenze kuti mushauka pamene bana mushuta kumurobezi mwenze kuti imo mwenzo tilenga tena mapepa watu wese pa ground ndife mwambera and pamene mwachita benefit vambiri maningi ife tikalipo chako benefit but you are complaining ukamba tino bakamba nankara maningi. Yes mwankara maningi, what have you done? Mwatandiza bandani ieve ya 2026 ulipati nachoka kuti ni same munatukana president ukambati sembe sindimwe sembe munawine my election ni same mukambati akainda anawinira my election kwa time
na kuyalelo devyo baye amitapendwa ya vintu ifisume vyoza kula kwibukisha kana depotimo wimbo wa temenu wa katongi abazunga batita katongi na kula kwibukisha kateka kaibukubuna kapona neseko syove pamenso yangu ama umebaya iyaba maume kateka wabantu twakulira lelo twakulira shikakukonke milimo shove Bengoshile eti kume mokula dolola wale lilo wingi
iseko wingi mwakwete iseko wingi mwakwete mwaya mwende wino tatawe
ibiseko wapanyiri okuyingi okuchinja oluzako kumoneko busaka mama kuzituwala basiyani chagwa katuze.
Wonderful, and thank you for joining us on this broadcast. We have upcoming interviews. We've lined up, I think, John Sangwa, State Council, and Honorable Dolika Banda. You will be informed when these programs are coming up, but these are the two scheduled ones that you should look forward to. John Sangwa, State Council, and Madam Dolika Banda, international banker, international financial analyst. She was former ZCM IH board chairperson, and she's coming to share with us her new journey and her new path. These are the two big outstanding programs you have to look for. Thank you for joining us. God bless you, and we will see you later. Thank you.